Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. There are rumors that little Jimmy has survived his camping expedition. We may or may not hear from him today. He'll be back on the air, scheduled for Monday. I have not spoken to him, but people close to the show have spoken to him. And the rumors are that he did indeed survive. That's about all we know. Unless somebody just got his phone. We don't know, Hopefully we'll get some clarification on that as the morning continues. But, yeah, a lot going on, I guess. And, Ryan Murphy is probably going to deserve a little bit of credit for this, but they're talking about letting those Sweet Menendez boys out of jail, presumably. There was a press conference. First, there was a statement by the DA, and then he wasn't in the press conference, I don't believe.
No.
The press conference was just the family members of the Menendez brothers, which carries more weight for sure than the family members of most of people that are locked up. Because in the case of the Menendez brothers, and they don't say this, it just says the family of the Menendez brothers, but this would also, just by simple biology, be the family members of the victims of the Menendez brothers. So while you could say the family members of the guys in jail are saying, hey, let them out, in reality, the family members of the people murdered by the guys in jail are saying, hey, let them out.
There are some that do not want them out.
Some family members.
Yeah, this is not a 100% Menendez family agreement.
Is it above 50?
I think it is. Yeah.
I mean, if it's above 50, that's a lot.
Just do the math. There was 24 of them there yesterday. It's got to be above 50. How many family members can you have?
There's no way there's 48.
No.
It couldn't be.
It would be impossible.
As a matter of fact, I would go as far as to say, the 24, you're saying?
Yeah.
It's got to be 2/3. It has to be.
I would go as far to say is that maybe it's, 99% and a bunch of people that aren't really family members but are just pretending.
Cousins.
Like Rosie O'Donnell was there.
Rosie O'Donnell, is she a Menendez?
She might be.
We don't know 100%. What are we, over there doing 23andMe?
Yeah.
We don't know for sure. But I didn't realize only Rosie O'Donnell. Was anybody there that wasn't a member of the Menendez family? Only Rosie O'Donnell. Oh, those were just more innocent times. Wow. So Rosie O'Donnell was the lone celebrity. Because I guess I had only known that the Menendez, so many members of the Menendez family were there. And was Rosie O'Donnell with the Menendez family? Was she like flinging out koosh balls?
Yeah.
To the people that were in the audience at the press conference? Yeah. Look at my talking doll.
That was a different time.
It was a different time.
We're not that far removed from a major celebrity having to pretend she was in love with a man to keep her daytime talk show.
We are absolutely not. It really is nuts what people had to go through.
Yeah.
So the Los Angeles DA, though, is on their side. The family members stand by Lyle and Eric Menendez. It looks like next month there's going to be a hearing. And that hearing is going to dictate whether or not their sentence is going to be changed. They would still be guilty, obviously, of killing their parents. That's not up for debate. But the question is the sentencing. They have life right now.
Mm-hmm. With no parole. But the idea would be, because they've been in there for whatever it is, 20, 25 years at this point, that if they got resentenced and it was taken down below life, odds are they'd get out of jail. They'd be like, okay, well, we're bringing it down to whatever it is, 20 years. Yeah. And
you did it. So Merry Christmas. You get to go home, which is to be able to say that even if, a lot of us were kids, some of you guys listening weren't probably, but to have a recollection of the Menendez brothers trial and to have a recollection of the sort of media hoopla, if you could pardon my French, that went around with that trial. And then to kind of watch this thing progress over the course of decades and get so far that we may actually see the Menendez brothers go free. I mean, that name, patricide is the only thing that name has been associated with for decades. And then what happens? Ryan Murphy jumps on Netflix,
puts out a season, and boom, Bob's your uncle.
You're giving the credit solely to
Ryan Murphy.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I think that had Jeffrey Dahmer not been killed in prison, we probably would have gotten him out after season 1.
I see where okay.
I think that probably would have happened. Unfortunately, Jeffrey Dahmer he was killed in prison.
I guess that is unfortunate.
Unfortunately.
I didn't think of it that way.
Well, unfortunately.
Wow.
And so he wasn't able to live through this, but I can't imagine how many of these prisoners are going to be fighting to get to the next season of Ryan Murphy Monsters.
Oh, yeah.
Because whoever gets that next season is, in all likelihood, going to get out. Because think about it. He also did what? American Crime Story. OJ. What happened to him? Not guilty. So it's all kind of lining up for the subjects of these series. Except, I haven't seen the Aaron Hernandez show yet, but things didn't go as well for him. He's more.
So you're saying that Ed Gein has a chance?
I think obviously he won't be made free because he is also unfortunately no longer with us, but rest in peace. But I do feel like it might be one of those things where they will posthumously
overturn his conviction,
commute Ed Gein's sentence. Okay. Yeah. I think posthumously they may honor Ed Gein
because he's the next.
He's
the next monster.
Well, they have already. Like Ed Gein was a specifically ugly man. He was not a good-looking guy at all. He had like lopsided eyes. He had that 1,000-yard stare. His mouth was constantly agape. He's just...
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Well, he's not. I think he's an objectively unattractive man.
Some say the same about you.
I have never heard... Not Kodak Black.
Okay, we'll get into that later.
I've never heard that. But, they found an extremely handsome man. Again, objectively handsome man. There's no sort of, not my type. Charlie Hunnam is a good-looking guy. Look at this guy.
Yeah. Well, Dom couldn't even keep it in.
Yeah, you saw, right?
You heard that?
This guy.
Involuntary.
Come on.
Kidding me? Put this guy in a leather jacket on a bike? Hello.
I'll join a gang.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Gang bang, whatever you need. but already the fact that they're like, who would make a good Ed Gein? Charlie Hunnam, the heartthrob from Sons of Anarchy. You're like, okay, Ryan, I see where you're going with this. Yeah, relatives of Lyle and Eric Menendez on Wednesday called for their release from prison after more than... so it's more than 30 years.
Yeah, it was, It
was right after OJ that they got convicted.
So
but
it's been 30 years.
It's been 30, but also keep in mind...
They were in prison for
because
a long time.
Weren't the crimes in like 1989 or something like that?
Yeah. And they sat in prison.
For 5 years.
Yeah. While the first trial was going on, and then the second trial. So, yeah, they've been in prison, for more than 30 years.
Yeah. Man, that's wild. They spent 5 years in, and then the judge was like, yeah, you're sentenced to life in prison. They're like, all right, fine, we already lived there. Like, we're already doing that. For more than 30 years. More than 24 relatives of the brothers announced a coalition Tuesday urging authorities to review the case and to resentence the two men in light of evidence that they said demonstrated they were victims of abuse at the hands of their father. And then they started playing scenes of Javier Bardem. He did so good in that show. But I think even a bigger deal than the families kind of coming together. And like I said, it is a big deal that the families are doing that, because I think at first the family it's one family, that the family didn't want to believe it, because a lot of family members were saying this isn't true, this isn't true, this isn't true. And they're like, no, it's true, we did it, but here's why. They're also family members, like I said, of the husband and wife, of Kitty and, what's the dad Menendez? Jose Menendez? Is that right? Javier Bardem Menendez. It says, despite his waffling press conference this month, the fate and freedom of the long-imprisoned Menendez brothers might already have been decided by the Los Angeles County District Attorney in the midst of a tough re-election campaign that the DA, he's been trailing. So this DA is up for re-election. So the idea is that he's kind of thinking that maybe if we free the Menendez brothers,
I think it might get him some votes.
That's so crazy.
What isn't the election? I would assume the DA election is in early November, like all other elections.
And this isn't until late November. But maybe if he makes it clear, hey guys, if I'm still here, that's even better. Like if he really gets the sense that people want the Menendez brothers out of jail, which is not a sentence I ever thought I would say. But if he really gets the sense that people want that, he's going, you have to reelect me. Because if you don't, I don't know what this other DA is going to do. But if you reelect me, I'm going to let the Menendez brothers out of jail. And everybody's like, oh, thank God.
Here we go. This is it.
The Los Angeles County DA to decide on Menendez brothers resentencing, okay, within 10 days. And that came out yesterday. Mm-hmm. So within 9 days.
This was after
the press conference? Okay.
He was probably like, good idea. Let me do it before the election.
Right.
Has nothing to do with the election.
No.
Let me just do it real quick.
No. That's kind of a roll of the dice. I mean, you have to really know, okay, this is what Los Angeles wants.
Unless he's shooting for those 24 votes, plus Rosie O'Donnell.
He's gone. He's like looking at all these Menendez people. And he's like, there's so many people here. There's Rosie. She's got the pulse of the nation. She's got that daytime talk show. She, has the talking doll that everybody loves for Christmas.
Great baseball player.
She's one of the great baseball players, best friends with Madonna. She doesn't
slam dunk re-election.
She's got coached by Tom Hanks. Like, I feel like this is a no-brainer. Yeah, Los Angeles. What's his name? George.
I feel
Gascon?
like it's Jorge.
What's it? Well, it's not spelled like Jorge. Jorge is spelled Jorge.
Then what are you asking me for? Huh?
Well, I mean,
Georgie?
I'm not asking you. I'm asking you as the conduit to somebody with all the information
I haven't watched any
that the
video.
internet has to offer.
I just do the read.
Oh.
I don't do the video.
I think it's George, because that's
George Gascon.
Yeah, but even just reading the article, it's George.
Okay,
That's
so
spelled George.
Jorge's with a J.
Everybody knows
then
that.
you know what?
Because
I'm
you
man
pronounce
enough
the
to
J
say
like an H.
I'm wrong.
It's okay. We've all been wrong.
We've all been wrong. Thank you, Troy.
That's right. Some of us took 6th grade Spanish. But,
some of us were skipping school in 6th grade.
yeah, George Gascon. Gaston?
Probably.
Oh. That guy had the biggest arms.
That's my guess.
Told NBC News on Wednesday he hopes to make a decision within 10 days about whether to recommend resentencing for the Menendez brothers, and that if he does, it's possible they could be out of prison by the end of the year.
I feel like he's already made up his mind. He's already said publicly that they don't deserve to spend the rest of their lives in prison.
It'd be odd with all this for him to be like, you know what? It's been 10 days. I'm going to recommend they stay in jail.
Like, he already posted and deleted a photo of part of the letter that is at the center of this whole, new evidence thing on his Instagram, and then he deleted it.
Is that the waffling? That the aforementioned waffling in the previous article that he's doing?
Oh, I'm not sure. No, I think he gave a press conference where he wasn't very committal. Is that...
Yeah, non-committal.
Non-committal, where he was non-committal.
Yeah.
And now it's, more and more these guys should probably go out.
Given the totality of the circumstances, I don't think they deserve to be in prison until they die, Gascon remarkably told ABC News Nightline co-anchor Juju Chang in an interview shot October 10th. The interview will be seen on the October 17th, that's today, debuting special Impact X Nightline. Cool. The Menendez brothers, monsters or victims? Streaming on Hulu. I mean, it's just so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words.
What's wrong?
It's a lot of words, and they're clearly optimized for search engines.
Interesting.
I mean, why would you didn't have to put, you know why it says Menendez brothers, monsters or victims? Just in case anybody's searching the Monsters show.
Just in case.
The show is called Monsters. It's about the Menendez brothers, and then you find the thing on Hulu.
You're 100% right. This is for older people who are on Hulu looking for the Monsters show.
Or just Google, and then they click the thing, and then it takes them to the Hulu account on a web browser.
God, you're right.
I'm all about SEO.
That's so... Monsters?
I mean, this is clearly optimized for search engines. There's no... Remember when it used to be they would title something what's the best title for this? What's the hook? Maybe something sexy, maybe something descriptive, maybe something at the end of the show you go, oh, that's why it's titled that. No. Why'd you title it this way? Well, we asked ChatGPT what's the best title for this for search engine optimization, and this is what it spit out.
Monsters or American Horror Story?
Streaming on Hulu. I mean, I'll watch it on Hulu. I would like to see.
Yeah.
I would like to see what the DA says. I mean, I hope. Ryan Murphy got that huge Netflix deal, right? It was worth. Wasn't it worth like
hundreds of millions?
Yeah, I was about to say 9 figures, and that's right. It's worth 9 figures, but he should be getting paid even more because every time he puts something out like this, every time he puts out like a true crime series or something like that, he props up every streaming service there is. You can't go anywhere without a Menendez brothers. Like Netflix keeps going. Netflix should also be paying him for the Menendez documentary that they put out. And Max puts their Menendez documentary to the top of the thing. And Hulu's got this Menendez thing. Every time Ryan Murphy puts one of these things out, every streaming service goes like, well, we have Menendez content too.
Yeah.
And it's like 30 years after the Menendez case.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's amazing that like that's it's not that different. Like YouTube, it's a little bit more of a microcosm, and it works a little bit more quickly. Like when there's a hot YouTube video, it becomes part of the algorithm for a week maybe, and everybody just tries to real quick, myself included, shoot a reaction to that content so that your reaction maybe shows up as a suggested video on that thing. But it's no different from what these networks are now doing, to the point where like Nightline is going, how do we fit into this Menendez algo? It's wild to think about.
Yeah.
Having said on October 3rd that his divided office believed that they had a moral and an ethical obligation to review what's being presented to us and make a determination based on a resentencing side, whether they deserve to be resentenced even though they were clearly the murderers. Well, that's what it is. It's just a sentencing question. And, I mean, it's enough of a thing that the first Menendez trial that happened pre-OJ, and if you remember that time, if you were alive, it was a wild time. The pre-OJ United States was a completely different time.
It was a more innocent time.
It was a more innocent time. It was a time when murderers did actually go to jail. It was a time when Hertz spokespeople, you could just trust them to sell you rental cars. It was a time when the Naked Gun would come on, and you could just laugh. You didn't have to think about the context of what was really going on
You'd say,
here.
look at this. None of them are criminals.
You go like this.
Nobody's murdered.
He can't fit in the door because of the size of that afro. That's hilarious.
It's funny. It's a big afro.
Oh, look how big his hair is. It's bigger than most afros. You go, look at this character. He's falling down the stairs on a wheelchair. Without any sort of... I can just laugh to my heart's content without worrying about anybody in the room giving me strange looks.
By the way, those movies, timeless.
They aren't... You love the Naked Gun movies because they're from the same sort of school of thought as Airplane.
The same, the Zucker brothers.
Yeah.
And they're so smart.
Would you say the Zucker brothers are the greatest comedy filmmakers of all time?
I'll go on record saying that. I mean, just for Airplane alone.
And then to follow that up with Naked Gun 2.5, Naked Gun 33 1/3. I mean,
what a run.
Even the titles are funny.
Yeah.
Because you go 2.5. What do you mean 2.5? 33 1/3. Did I miss one? I mean, they really are great. Hot Shots Part 2. I don't know if they did those, but they were inspired certainly by them.
Definitely the first Hot Shots. I don't remember.
Hot Shots Part 2 is good.
Part 2 is an underrated classic.
Yeah, it is.
We got to revisit.
I have that on DVD.
Oh, sweet.
You do?
Yes, I do.
I'm glad you have that
I
on
wonder if
disc.
that's streaming anywhere.
It doesn't matter. You have it on disc.
Check Dubin Plus.
Don't need. So, yeah, I mean, I think that so yeah, in the first trial that happened pre-OJ, there was a hung jury. Like it was compelling enough that the jury was like, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
and it took them forever.
It took them forever, and they were all like, it seems like they really went through some bad stuff at the hands of these parents. And then two things happened. Number one, Lyle was just flapping his gums like a madman in that jail. And who knows, by the way, if he could have still been telling the truth, but was such a braggadocious sociopath that he couldn't help but, like, when he cried on the stand, because that was a big deal, that he had this girlfriend in jail. And he was like calling her and telling her all this stuff that he should not have been saying on the phone. You know, saying like, "Oh, the jury totally bought it. I was teaching myself how to cry. You know, this story, that story. I embellished this, I embellished that." And then what does this girlfriend do? These hoes ain't loyal was about her. He thinks, yes, you didn't know that?
No.
That's what they were singing about. Because he thinks they're going to write a book together after he gets out. And the lawyer has to tell him, no, you ignoramus, you fucking fool. No. She goes, she's writing a book. Matter of fact, she already wrote the book. And it's all about everything you said on the phone. Everything's taped. And he's like, oh, no. So now they get a retrial. And number one, he can't take the stand, and everything that he said that convinced the jury is now off the table.
They didn't let any of that in.
None of it, because they couldn't trust any of it. Because, and to be fair, if they had let it in, then the state's attorney would just go, hey, you said in this book you made the whole thing up. And he's like, well, I didn't know she was writing that book. First of all,
Your Honor,
Your
I
Honor,
didn't know there would be fact checking.
Your Honor, they were supposed to. We agreed no fact checking, Your Honor. And then also, and this was the real kick in the bum, the OJ trial had happened right before it. So post OJ, the LA was like, no, everyone's guilty after OJ. They got us on OJ, but coming off of OJ, everyone's getting guilty for a while. And so, you know, it wasn't. I saw it on Netflix. It wasn't. They were terrible to those guys.
Listen, we gave you Rodney King.
We gave you Rodney,
and we gave you OJ.
Well, no.
From now on,
they didn't give him Rodney. There was a riot after Rodney King.
Right.
What the hell is he?
What are you talking about?
I got confused.
L.A. was burned to the ground after Rodney King. No, they fucked up with Rodney King.
They had to course correct because of Rodney and OJ.
That's what happened.
They had to course correct. No, the course correction for Rodney was OJ. They fucked up so bad with Rodney that nobody was going to convict OJ.
Okay.
Right? They were like, look at what you did. We saw Rodney getting beat up by all those cops, and then we saw on TV, you were like, as it turns out, the cops were fine.
Everything was good.
Everything was fine. They said, this is not okay. So then OJ came around, and they were like, not again. Nope. We gave you Rodney King, so you give us OJ.
Okay.
So but they didn't know, I don't think, that OJ was going to be this trial of the century. They say that about every trial. This was actually the trial of the century.
That was the trial of the century.
They didn't know. Nancy Grace made a career out. Everybody made a career out of it. Ryan Murphy, everybody. So then after OJ, they were like, okay, we gave you that one. We're not giving you any more. Because that was a clusterfuck. You really embarrassed all of us in Los Angeles here. So then when the Menendez brothers stepped up to the plate
for round two,
without half their testimony and, well, all of it.
They couldn't enter any of their own.
Well, the other brother could talk, but he wasn't as strong.
But they didn't allow any of the molestation stuff in.
No. And also, like, it was a different time. Like, if you go back in those documentaries, you watched the Netflix one, right? If you go back, like, people just went on TV and were like, hey, these kids are lying, am I right? And it was like what?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think so. Leno was making jokes every night. Did you see? Like, literally, the family members were calling Leno going, could you please stop just making jokes about the Menendez brothers? They're my family. And they were like, no, absolutely not. We refuse. We got to make Menendez jokes every night.
I need 7 minutes every night.
Yeah.
At the top.
I'm going to say we won't do the whole 7 on the Menendez, but I'd imagine at least 4. So brace yourselves. Maybe turn on the other channel because we're not
leftover
stopping.
OJ jokes.
Yeah, there's still some OJ jokes.
They're evergreen.
Right. Right. But yeah, so I mean,
I'm not a fan of, and we've talked about this on the show, of like, looking at older things through, present culture's eyes, obviously.
Because you don't contextualize what the culture was. Like, you tend to, even in those minor cases, like, not talking about like cancel culture, but like when you go, oh, Letterman was so mean to so and so,
right? Like,
you go, yeah, but that was also that was the appetite of the culture. Like, the audience wanted that. They were ravenous for it.
There was no outrage for it back then because it was just part of.
And you never hear anybody going like, yeah, I remember that because I loved it. Nobody ever admits to being part of the audience, and there was a huge audience that was loving every minute of it. They just go, I can't believe what this guy David did. I can't believe what Jay Leno did. He was mean to this woman. What?
But when it comes to sexually assaulting kids, I think
that's crazy. I mean, yeah, the 90s, we needed to course correct a little bit. It went too far in the 90s.
And I think
I know you don't like to hear that, Mike. I know you don't like to hear that.
Listen, Mike, this is kids.
We went too far. It was too permissive.
But it wasn't taken seriously.
I've seen some documentaries that might lend credence to those claims.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, but you're right, Travis. It wasn't taken seriously. It was more like,
and I really do think if they were tried today, there's no way they would get life in prison.
I would agree with that. I would 100% agree with that. I mean, look at the OJ trial, right? It's like they said, "Here's the DNA evidence," and everybody was like, "DNA? The fuck is that? What are we in science class? Get the hell out of here with that nonsense!" Now. DNA is the standard, but then it was like we're not listening to any of that. This
Shut up.
Mumbo jumbo. What are you DNA? Nice evidence. 4 eyes.
Go on with your chlorophyll.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people in the jury saying sounds more like borophyll.
I'm a DNDs.
yeah, that's what they're saying. They're like, the jury's been deliberating, but somebody said D&D's nuts. So yeah, I mean, I if I had to go out on a limb here and make a bold and wild prediction, I think we might have Christmas with the Menendez this year.
Yeah,
meaning that they'll be out, and they'll have,
like you personally or not?
And they'll have I think they'll have a television special.
Netflix.
Well, it'd be a variety show. Christmas with the Menendez. Yeah, I wonder, because, I mean, look, if they let that guy out who shot Reagan.
John Hinckley, the musician?
Bro, if John Hinckley is out and on Twitter and, playing his guitar.
And advocating for peace.
I wonder what the Menendez brothers are going to do. Because they also.
Talk show?
Yeah, they have to figure out how to monetize this.
They're 100%
Podcast?
going to. Because I know that the television show was obviously sensationalized, but they did, spend a lot of money. They did love that LA lifestyle. They did like the fame.
They did some shitty things.
100%. They're shitty
killed their
LA
parents.
kids. And they killed their parents with shotguns. Mob style.
And
Blew
one
out
of them
their
still
knees.
kind of looks crazy.
Well, I know which one.
If we're only letting out people who look very normal, only one of them's getting out.
Is Lyle going to put the wig back on?
He should.
He probably should.
Listen, I'm sure,
Because the ears look big.
The ears look big and the eyes are real sunk in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you get a nice wig on there.
Yeah, even if it's like a Geico caveman wig, anything.
Something.
Better.
Yeah.
Eric looks like $1 million.
Because there is going to be, I wonder if they'll do Theo Vaughn's podcast. Because there is going to be, everybody's going to want to interview him. Look at Gypsy Rose.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard?
Something like that. Yeah. She came out of jail, and she was like a mad woman with all this attention. Talking about.
Plus she had the fire D.
Well, that's what but she's not with that dude anymore.
No, they're broken up.
She married a dude in jail. She went on and said that his D was fire on Instagram.
Because people were making fun of how he looked.
They were making fun of his appearance,
Which I get.
And then she said his D was fire on Instagram, but then she divorced him. She's loving the fame.
Loves it. She wrote a book.
Yeah. So
Well,
and
gotta get ready.
I've got to believe that especially right now, the Menendez brothers haven't been this famous since the trial.
No.
And they're going to get out of jail with this amount of fame, and I don't know. Somebody who's been to jail would have to call up and tell me, but it seems like it'd be difficult to kind of develop as a human being. You know what I mean? Mature as a human being in jail. It almost seems like you're at the risk of being in this state of arrested development where you come out kind of similar to the way you went in, meaning that even though these guys are in their 50s or however old they are now, their mindset maybe hasn't changed that much since they were 20-something.
I don't know. You do a lot of schooling in prison, and you have you make a life for yourself.
No, I was thinking, yeah. That is how they go. That's how you maintain your sanity. You figure out what your day to day is, what your job in jail is.
I think I remember in the documentary, at least one of them has a degree in something. You maintain.
Yeah, but it's still not the same as living in standard society.
No, they're not scrolling through reels.
Wait till they find out about reels. I mean, there's so much shit there. You have any idea the amount of information you can?
In a lot of ways, being in prison is probably the healthiest thing.
I mean, they're like, what the fuck? None of this is true, right? And it's like, yeah, but you can just watch it still.
Yeah, Lyle Menendez got a degree in sociology.
That's one of the best things that you can do.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it really doesn't apply to anything in real life.
No, that's pretty great.
Sociology degrees are the tits.
Okay.
That's a lot of very educated people say. Danny in Texas.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, bud.
So, I think if the Menendez brothers get out, I think Ben Stiller's going to be crapping his pants because he directed the movie Cable Guy back in the 90s, and he plays the twins. It's a parody of them, but it's clearly of the trial.
Yeah.
And he does a really good job. He's wearing a sweater and, just acting, pathetic. And so, I think he's going to be shitting his pants if they do get out.
You think the Menendez brothers are coming for Ben Stiller first? We saw the Cable Guy, and we know what you were doing.
That was the first movie
all
we
they
watched
do is
when we
probably
got
just
out.
watch TV, and all the throwbacks, they got TBS, and they probably play the Cable Guy.
Can you imagine if you're the Menendez brothers, you're like, I don't want anything to do with us. You know what? This Cable Guy movie couldn't be further removed. It's been years. Let me put on the Cable Guy. What the heck? You're kidding. Why? And then, by the way, that subplot doesn't even go anywhere. It's just in it.
It was just for fun.
It was just for fun.
Yeah. And there's a loop around at the end when Jim Carrey falls on the satellite and all of America's hooked on the trial. And then when they're about to announce the verdict, he lands on the satellite and everyone's cable goes out. They're like, fuck.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is, but you could. Thank you, buddy. You're right. It's a good call. But you probably could have done it without directly doing a Menendez Brothers parody is the only thing. So we'll see. Maybe he's in trouble. That would be wild if they, got out of jail and immediately proved that it was a terrible idea to let them out of jail.
They just had a list
Start
like
doing
Jane
crimes.
Silent Bob.
Yeah. You are the ball lickers.
Probably have Die Ben Die tattooed on their bellies.
No. D Ben. D. Oh.
Very well.
Yeah, do they know the score of the HMS Pinafore?
Well, if they don't, then Ben is going to be dead fast.
Hopefully he can send them to heaven before he sends him to hell. Did we see Kamala Harris on the Brett Baer show?
I saw some clips.
What did you think?
I mean,
It just was what it was?
It just was what it was.
It really was funny because I was looking at the reaction to all of it, and I don't think it served any purpose because I think the traditional mindset for Kamala would be, look, I'm gonna go. People are saying that I'm not doing these interviews. I'm not talking to people who disagree with me. So let me go on into the enemy territory and let me do this, 20 minutes with Brett Baer. And it was kind of exactly what you would expect. Brett Baer was combative. He did his job. He asked her real, the questions that people question her on, why wouldn't you do this? Why wouldn't you do that? She was doing her version of the weave, not really, still not figuring out an answer to why wouldn't, if you wanted to do this as president, why wouldn't you start doing it as vice president? She doesn't have an answer to that one.
Can't she just be honest and be like, vice president means nothing?
It doesn't mean anything. I feel like she's almost there because there was a moment where she was like, Brett, we know what's going on here.
I feel like it's something that we've all known for decades.
Of course.
And now that she's running for president, everybody's pretending that the vice president actually does things.
No, the only time the vice president ever did anything was Dick Cheney.
Yeah, because, he had to do the whole presidency.
He did the presidency.
Yeah.
That was the plan from the beginning.
The problem is, too, Biden threw her under the bus a couple weeks back.
What did Biden? He got her, didn't he?
He was like, no, she was involved in everything we've done.
Everything.
She was there right there next to me.
Yep.
She's like, no, I wasn't.
I asked you, most of the decisions I made, I said, you want to do this, right? She goes, yep. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. She said, good idea, Joe. I said, okay, then I'll do it.
There are 2 votes, and you are one of them.
You are one. Must be unanimous before we do anything. Kamala, it's a yes, then we'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, there was just that one clip of the 70% of the population of America thinks that we're heading in the wrong direction. That was probably the best clip.
Oh, that's a bummer.
And then some of the other thing I sent over to Brett was saying that they kept like shaving down the time. She was supposed to be there at 5. It gets later. So they kind of. So basically, what it is, they put her in a situation. He asks a bunch of questions for 15 minutes. She just has to kind of dance around a little bit, and then she's out.
But I don't think she ever promised more time, did she? I think it was like 20. The interview was like 20, 25 minutes still.
I think so, yeah. But he was saying,
he's talking his shit afterwards.
Yeah.
If I would have said this.
Yeah.
Dana, you've been on the other side. You've been on the rapper as a press secretary interviewing a president. And, I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands like it's got to stop. So, Martha, I had to dismount there at the end. There's so many things.
And again, like, you think there's ever been an interview with a president where there haven't been publicists trying to wrap things up? Literally every Trump podcast interview, he's made reference that my people want me to go. Sometimes I tell them no. Should we do one more question? Like, Trump handles it differently.
It's literally how interviews go.
Yeah, I mean, in here. People are like, wrap it up. And people who work at Sirius are giving us the wrap-up
They have
sign.
to go.
Yeah. Travis gives me the wrap-up sign.
Sometimes you listen.
I go, who do you work for, bro? Who does number 2 work for?
Sometimes you put Travis on the pay no mind.
Oh, I don't ever mind putting him right on that list. That's not something I have a problem with at all.
I got a comfy seat there with a, broken-in cushion.
That's right. But then there were also people, so like the kind of right-wing people were like, yeah, she collapsed, she did terrible, she doesn't know what she's doing. And then the people that support her were like, she did put up with combative questions, she didn't leave, she didn't fold, she hit back a couple times. And you go like, okay, so the people who don't like her.
Yep.
And the people that like her. Right. And so we are right back to square one.
That's how I knew it wasn't worth watching.
Yeah.
Like I read she was railroaded and it was more of a debate between her and Brett than an interview, and he kept cutting her off and blah, blah, blah. And then I read the same thing that you just said from right-wing media. Oh, she didn't have any answers. She was word salad. She didn't do this. She left early. But okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, you didn't miss anything.
It's like those, it's like when Trump sits down and the people that don't like him are like, oh my God, he looks so bad. You hear what he said here? It's literally the weave thing again. The people that don't like him were like, he just admitted it. He's cooked.
He admitted
it. And then everybody that likes him is like, see, I told you, he's a genius. Like, nothing makes a difference.
No.
And I'm sitting here, Ken Bona 2024, undecided. Like, who's going to win me over?
I can't imagine watching either of them now and being like, you know what? That's my vote.
Huh.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that there's still people that are like that.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for some.
Like if you were at one of those town halls.
Yeah, I do wonder, like what are you waiting for? If you're undecided. Now, if you just don't prefer either one of them, I completely understand that. But
but if you're like, I'm going to vote, I just don't know for who yet. Like what?
Yeah.
What are you waiting for?
Either one could win me over at any moment.
Yeah, like how could it possibly be that close to somebody?
Yeah. It's not there's very little gray area.
No.
I just want to see where they stand on this issue. I don't know. Which one has the cooler Glock? Steve in Florida?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
So I watched the whole interview last night.
Mm-hmm.
And Bear wasn't really combative. I think all he did was ask follow-up questions to the questions that she wasn't answering, and she's not used to that because she hasn't done that the whole time. No one's asked her follow-up questions. So she had that, who the hell do you think you're talking to look on her face the whole time. It was kind of telling.
Wow, I think his follow-up questions were fair, and you're not wrong about that. But also, he also asked his follow-up questions in a combative way. I mean, he was talking over her to get to his follow-up.
And she was talking over him too.
Right.
And she's also espousing. Well, it's just like you're talking over me now, but it's your show. You get.
Oh, shit.
Steve, would you say,
Steve got you there?
And Steve, by your logic, I would think that this conversation is also not combative.
Steve thought this
Actually,
was an
no,
interview. You're making it a debate.
I'm attempting to be funny. It's not working.
It is working, Steve. It was funny.
Steve, let me tell you something. There's people in this room who are right behind you.
First of all, Steve and I are getting back on the same page, and you are a divisive force. There's no reason to be divisive.
Are there hands on my hips or no? All right, guys, pulling out slowly.
Right, Steve.
Yeah, there's just no way. I don't think she could do Rogan. I'll be shocked if it happens.
God, no.
Because if she's like, okay, you have 20 minutes, and Rogan's like, no, we want 2 hours.
He's not doing 20 minutes.
He won't
with
do
anybody.
He won't do 20 minutes. So it's like when she says something, because there's a clip where she says something, she's like, you know what I'm saying? And Brett goes, no, I don't know what you're saying. Like,
Yeah, I saw that clip.
and so Rogan will be like, hold on a second. Okay, let me see what you're saying. Okay, let's break down exactly word for word what you're saying here.
Jamie, can you pull that up? Wasn't there an article? I saw a tweet. Oh, I guess I didn't. I don't know. Anyway, Kamala. It is amazing that show is so powerful that there is a version where she does sit down and just, he goes like, yeah, you got to give me the afternoon or it's not happening.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, I'll give you the afternoon.
And that's probably why it won't happen. She can't do two. Even if he was like, okay, can we do like an hour? I don't think she would do an hour.
Because it's too... I also get the feeling that this was not the original plan.
What? Doing Fox News?
No, Kamala. You know what I mean?
Of course it wasn't.
You know what I mean? Where there were... people tend to prepare for running for president for like a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that like a week before they were like, okay, we're making the switch. And Kamala was like, huh? What?
Yeah, no. I don't
All
think
right.
I don't think this was some master plan
No.
that they had.
I think there were a few people that... Look,
I feel like this is a break glass in case of emergency.
I think by the time the debate with Trump happened, they knew Joe's not going to survive.
You can't hide this anymore.
Yeah, and I think that they went in going like, this will be it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the whole media turned on him after the debate. Like, everybody that loved him was like, why are you still here? Why won't you just quit? Just quit. Just step down. Why are you still here? Why are you still here? Like, it's the only question they would ask him. All right, fine, I'll leave.
Hey, get out of here.
Yeah.
What do you think about the theory that people say that Joe kind of secretly wants Trump to win, wants to see Kamala lose because he was the only one that was able to beat Trump, and they forced him out, and it's like, okay, you don't want me in? I was the only one that could do it.
I could see, we'll never know.
Right.
He'll never say it.
No.
I don't think he's happy about being pushed out.
No, of course not.
And so with that said, I could see him like, because all those politicians on any side of the fence they have this base of ego,
right,
especially if they've been in it forever. And I could see him not putting party first in his heart. You know what I mean?
Like on
Deep
election
down,
night, just kind of like smirking. And being
Yeah.
like, huh, well, okay.
It's weird that happened. I guess.
Guess we'll never know what happened if I ran. Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
And they say that because, like I said, he threw her under the bus, said she was there all the time. He took the Trump hat and he took it back on the plane with him and left with it.
I don't know if he knew
People
what
are
he was
saying
doing.
that was a signal of like...
Didn't he wear
Okay.
a Trump hat for a photo or something?
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm
I
saying.
don't know.
That photo. Yeah, that photo.
I don't know if he knows what he's doing in those situations.
Yeah, but to
But
be
it would be
fair,
awesome if he did.
the same people that are now painting him as this strategic mastermind were the exact same people that were like he's walking around in a zombie state, medicated.
It's really one or the other.
So you can't now go.
You can't have both.
No.
Right. There could be some gray area though.
Right.
Right.
Well, he's apparently mad that she's not mentioning him enough.
That I believe to be
Yes.
true.
And then there was some clip that just came out where she was like praising him, like I guess it was just in the last day or two, and she was like, "Our great president," and was like over the top. And
Right.
So exhausting.
I mean, don't forget he's always had these moments. Like, remember when he accidentally made Obama legalize gay marriage?
You mean the big fucking deal?
He was like, yeah. He goes, well, first before that, he goes, yeah, we're gonna do it. And Obama was like, what? What?
Slow down, Joe.
What? And then they had to do it, and then he told him into the microphone, "This is a big fucking deal, Barry." So he's always been a little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Let's go to Larry in Fort Lauderdale. What's up, Larry?
Hey, what fellas? Sam, just want to give you kudos for truly being the last professional broadcaster.
That's right.
The gentleman who called in from Florida did exactly what you guys just said. If you're left-leaning, you thought she was bombarded.
That's right.
If you're right-leaning, she did a bad job.
Yeah.
And to your point, his follow-up questions, and again, I'm in the middle, were aggressive, and he didn't let her finish the sentence.
Right.
So it's like, it went exactly how we thought it was going to go. It's silly to think otherwise.
That's right. Thank you, Larry. Yeah, it was like, if you don't like her, oh, good, he held her feet to the fire. And if you do like her, it was, oh, good, she, fought back and didn't buckle under the pressure. And it was like, okay, cool. I'm glad we did this exercise.
I think he was kind of stepping on her a little bit because they had such limited time, and he's trying to correct things she's saying or say like, no, that's not really what happened. And so it's
yeah. But I mean, like, yeah, talking over each other is not gonna get there. You almost have to go like, okay, I got 20 minutes. Because I think they had said before that's how long. It was never like it was going to be an hour. So you kind of have to know, okay, I'll hit maybe two things.
Right.
Because, people, they're long-winded on purpose. So they don't have to, so the more they talk, the less they have to answer. That's been politicians forever. So you almost have to go, as the interviewer, okay, let me focus on two topics. These are the two things that she hasn't answered for that I think I can get her on. These will be the sound bites, and let me just go there, because otherwise you're just like bickering, trying to rush and get, 7 things in.
Yeah. That's what it sounded like.
Right. Yeah. And, some people wanted that, but it did seem like the whole exercise was unnecessary. Like the idea of, well, if I do this, maybe some of the, I don't know if anybody in the middle was swayed one way or the other. I think most of us were just like, yeah, that it's the same thing as everything.
Well, there's 19 or 20 days left till the election, right?
Yeah.
So she has to do something. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't just sit silent.
No, you can't.
So I guess it's like, well, let's give this a shot.
But yeah, I mean, it's not like Trump does a great job with combative interviews either. It's not like Trump does a great job going to. He doesn't like to do interviews with people who disagree with him. For a while, remember he stopped doing Fox News because they weren't nice enough to him?
Right, that's right.
And they're very nice, but not nice enough.
But then he fixed that.
By making them be nicer to him?
Yeah, that's how you do it. Because they know how to get ratings.
That's right.
They need him for ratings.
That's right. Okay. What did you say in 2016? They call me the ratings machine.
I mean, he's not lying.
No, he's not. No, he's not. And he figured out, too, he's good for these podcasts. He's good for these podcast numbers. Let's take a break early this morning. We have a lot to do today. Welcome back. Joining us in studio, Bruce Campbell, who will not, I hope, be tinkering with any of the lights, or he won't be invited back here.
Wait a minute, just a real quick adjustment. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Nice.
Hysteria is the new series that Bruce Campbell is a star of, premiering tomorrow on Peacock. And he did. There's a big sign on the door when you walk into the studio. It's not a welcoming sign.
Not really, no.
It's more of a threatening sign.
Yeah.
That says, don't tamper with the lights.
Which leads you to understand that something must have taken place repeatedly enough that those guests, they come in and they go, I don't like the lighting. Yeah, obviously, whenever you have a sign, it means there has been transgression.
Have you ever, in your career, been a person with those kind of more diva-ish demands where you need a certain light? Did you ever have a rider that you needed followed to a T?
Gina Davis, famous actress, right? Was about to be in a movie with a famous photographer. Mm-hmm. And she held up her photograph and she said to him, I want to look like this in every shot. He goes, great, we'll carry a mobile studio around with us. Wherever we go, won't that be perfect? And we'll never get this movie shot at all. I worked with Sheena Easton once, and she had this thing, I can only be photographed from the right side. And this is a TV show in the 90s, and the cameraman, again, he laughed out loud. He went, honey, You look great from every angle. And he just walked away. So, yeah, thank God I look good from every angle.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Your natural beauty shines through.
Sure.
You know, I've always wondered because, like, you've reached icon status, and I feel like you reached it fairly early.
Oh, yeah, mid 80s. Yeah,
You were an icon.
I was iconic.
Right. I think so. But the way you got into the business was kind of atypical in the sense that you and Sam Raimi come right out of high school making this short, which leads to Evil Dead,
Right.
which leads to everything else.
Yeah.
Was there ever a period of time where you had that imposter syndrome where this kind of
No, but we had impossible syndrome.
Okay.
Where, like, this is going to be freaking impossible.
Yes.
Detroit, Michigan, 80s, the economy, you talk about interest rates, holy crap. Trying to get investors to invest in a movie in Detroit in the 80s.
Yes.
Why are you here? Why aren't you out in California? We don't know anyone in California that has money. Ask again, why are you here? You know, like you weren't allowed to make a movie outside of California or something. So we finally had to really roll the sleeves up and figure out really crazy ways to get the money to make this movie, the very first one.
Yeah.
But because no one was casting me in a movie in Detroit either.
Sure.
You want to be in a movie? You better make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I tell actors. Hey, I want to be an actor. Good. Become a producer. And then you make the stuff and put yourself in it. I put myself in the first movie. You know, I didn't audition for Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I gave myself the part. I think I was the tallest of the three partners. You know,
Tall's important.
Yeah. You get in there.
Do you? And then when that's successful and you're able to begin to craft this acting career, did you enjoy wearing less hats and just worrying about performing, or did it kind of leave this thing in you where you're like, no, I got to have my hands on everything?
It's important to have your hands a little bit in anything. Like, be aware of a lens. Like, what is an 85 millimeter lens? What does it do to your face? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I like to shoot Russian style.
What's Russian
and
style?
it confounds everybody. Russian style is you shoot the close up first. Your makeup is the best. You just had your cup of coffee. You've had your little
wow.
You're ready to go, man. Everything is good to go, and you only have to light a little bit. Then you move back over the shoulder, light a little more. Then you move back, and then you do the big master that they call it, the big wide stuff. And you say that to a cameraman, and they go, "Oh, geez, I don't know." Like, we already know the blocking. We already know how I got in this chair.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I get up out of the shot at the end of it. It's okay. You know, I like being aware of film styles, film techniques. You can be a helpful partner.
Sure.
Like, there was an actor, famous actor in New Zealand, because I worked a lot in New Zealand on different TV shows. And the sound guy came up and he said, "Excuse me, famous actor, I know you don't like to rehearse. Could you tell me in your speech that you're about to do any parts that might be really quiet or any parts that might be really loud so that I record you correctly?" He turns to him, the actor turns to him and goes, "Just turn the fucking thing on." And the sound guy turns away and he goes, "Okay.
Yeah.
We'll just see what we're going to get."
Yeah.
Because that single tier monologue, if you're not on your mark, it will be out of focus, and no technology, even AI, will help you.
Yeah.
Put an out of focus shot in focus. Won't happen. So, I mean, I've gotten really tight with camera focus pullers. If you have a dark scene in a cellar and you need to take a quick step forward and shove a gun in somebody's face and it's a big fat close up, you need to like work with them and go, okay, here's when I'm taking that step. And I put a sandbag down in front of me, like, bam, you ain't going any further. And, you know, we high five at the end of a shot of like, if we hadn't worked together, it would have been way harder to get that.
Yeah. It is interesting when you see people that don't have that sort of team mentality and go, well, if I make your job easier, you'll make me look better and the whole thing will work.
Yeah, it's old school, new school too. You know, made a movie with both Tom Arnold and Ernest Borgnine in the same movie, McHale's Navy.
Sure.
Ernest Borgnine shows up on set. He's probably late 70s, full dress Navy uniform in Mexico, 1,000 degrees, 1,000% humidity, never leaves the set ever. He takes his hat, he puts it on his knee. PAs are swarming him. "Can I get you anything, Mr. Borgnine?" I'm fine, thank you. Just a little piece of shade. And meanwhile, the other star, as soon as he hears cut, the hat's off, the jacket's off, into the SUV, back to the trailer. This is between takes.
Right.
I'm like, we are never getting out of here. And I keep pointing, going, Tom, that guy over there who never left the set, Academy Award. Academy Award, Tom.
Yeah.
So, you learn how you learn, I think.
Yeah, totally. And now you're there's even, the generations continue and continue. You're on this project, as you have on other projects, you deal with younger and younger people and seeing kind of.
Our whole cast is way younger than me.
Right. It's like
I'm the geezer. Right. Oh yeah. I'm the crabby guy who wants to get out of there. Come on, what are we waiting for?
You're Ernest Borgnine now.
I'm now Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah, yeah. What is it like seeing high school age or people portraying high school age kids, acting?
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Because they don't really have to memorize. They look at a piece of paper and go, uh-huh. And I'm like, okay, go there, go to the store. So running my lines over and over and over again, and they look at it once. Okay, here we go.
Is it
They're
just
supple little minds?
It's the sharp brains.
Yeah.
It's
and
the
there was one
school-age
actress
brains.
who's like 22, I think, on the show. She was going, can you help fill in this little wrinkle I have here? I went, oh, honey, stick around, man. I'm entering the crooked politician phase of my career. Guys have it easier, though.
Absolutely.
They do.
Absolutely, because, I think with guys are expected
I'm playing
to
the
age
chief of police now.
Right.
It used to be Ash. Now this is as if Ash retired.
Right.
Now he's just going to be a chief of police of a small town in Michigan.
But even when you played older Ash, everybody was like, cool, Ash is older, no problem.
Yeah, they don't have a problem with it.
Right.
He was worthless when he was young. So old doesn't, and now he has some experience at least.
That's right. That's right. So Hysteria, it premieres, it's a series on Peacock. It's like a horror series, but it's really cool because, number one, it takes place in the 80s, like dealing with that whole satanic panic thing, which is fun. But also, what I enjoy is I feel like nowadays, there's, you see so much of that sort of exploitation when something happens. It's like, I got to get on TikTok, I got to get on YouTube, make a video about this, and you see that even in the 80s, you didn't have social media, but there was still, there's a crime here, there's satanic panic.
And rumors.
Right.
And disinformation.
We got to exploit this for, exactly.
Disinformation is not new.
Right.
That's the oldest trick in the book.
Right.
So that's my job as the chief of police, Chief Dandridge, is to figure out the crap that's happening in the small town. Is it real or is it not?
Right.
And he, like me, is a non-believer of like, I don't really believe in this crap, so let's see what's really doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But then it gets a little weirder.
Yeah.
As it would.
Yeah. And I'm sure that you have to, when you're going into a series, you have to know, number one, like, episode by episode is going to be interesting enough, but we also have to have enough meat on the bone that you have an arc over the course of hours and hours.
One
and
would
hours,
think, one would hope.
One would hope.
that the writers are that planned out for each character.
Yeah.
One would also hope that the lines of dialogue on a script page would not be interchangeable.
Okay, you say that line.
Oh boy, you have no idea how often it happens. Hey, Jenkins, you haven't had a line in a while. Why don't you say that one? And some writer rooms are like that.
Just
give it to that guy. That guy hasn't talked in 5 scenes. Just give him that speech.
Have you had that moment on a set? You don't have to say which set it was, obviously, but have you had that moment where it's like almost a dismay, where you're like, oh, this sounds cool, and there's just one little thing like that?
That happens on commercials. You are perfect. You're half a second over.
Right.
You're perfect. You're a quarter second over. You're like, mother scratcher, can't you just very speed that shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the trickiest stuff. And you're not ad-libbing in a commercial.
Of course.
Because they want you to say specific things about their product. The tricky thing is when they get all wordsmithy on a movie. Because then you go, so your writer is so amazing that I can't. So I did a movie, Congo. Written by a famous, let's say, a Broadway writer, who's already adapting a Michael Crichton book. So it's not your original material, is it?
Right.
So then I do a take. I'm broadcasting. Laura Linney plays my girlfriend in the movie before I'm killed in the first 9 minutes. And I do the broadcast, and the script supervisor comes up, and she goes, well, you missed, you added an and a well, and a huh. And I literally thought she was joking. I went, get out of here. What are you doing, man? Who sent you here? She goes, we need to stick to the words. If she schooled me. So the next take, so here's what that does to your creative process. It slams it into the dirt.
Right.
Because now your eyes glaze over because you're going, what was that word? What? Don't add don't add don't add well. And your performance is garbage.
Yeah, you're speeding through sentences so you don't forget the word, right?
They're just words now, and they're all in the wrong position now.
Right, but you got them all in.
So, yeah, way to go.
Yeah.
Way to preserve your precious words.
Good, yeah, good news. The words are on film.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
Bad news is you suck.
You've had some, you're able to make a strong impact with only a little amount of time on screen, like you said, killed in the first 9 minutes of Congo.
That's right.
But even
they did use my scream in all of the Taco Bell ads.
They did.
I was really pleased because I could say to Frank Marshall, Frank, when I do my death screen, would you like a single or a double?
Wow.
He goes, what's a double? I go, let's just find out. So they kept the double because it's it builds, it's like I'm scared. Oh shit, I'm going to die. So horror acting is very complex.
Sure.
There's many degrees of horror.
Levels to how horrified are we?
Yes.
This is the jump scare scream. This is the I'm cooked scream.
Mm-hmm. This is the I'm concerned breathing.
Sure. That's right. I'm scared.
It's a little subtle.
Oh,
but,
yeah, no,
sorry.
it's good. I'm scared. I'm scared just thinking about it. And is this something you discovered, like, through the process, or did you...
It's all learning. Yeah. I love the fact that for decades I was known as the Evil Dead guy who... that was at the weakness, the most weak I was as an actor ever was that movie. So, yeah, let's be known for that.
The first one.
Yeah, hey,
first one's always the best.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Where we're like, what's a close-up? What does that mean?
Right.
Yeah, it takes a while to figure it out, Joel.
There's a rumor about your Spider-Man appearances. The rumor is, because you had cameos in all three Spider-Mans.
You say that, but say that with respect, because each one was critical.
Critical, right? Spider-Man 2.
I'm the snooty usher.
Right.
I do not let him in the theater because he's late and it'll spoil the illusion. I'm the only character who has ever defeated Spider-Man.
You did defeat Spider-Man.
100%. Say that, Doc Ock.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
No.
No.
Part 3, I'm the French maitre d'.
Right.
How often does a superhero come to a mortal for help?
Seldom.
The seventh of never.
That's right.
Did I help him? Not really, because he was kind of a butt face in the other movies. So
that's right, but he did. But so here's the rumor, though. They said I don't know if you talked to them, but they said that there was a plan for a fourth Spider-Man.
There was.
And they said that the villain was going to be Mysterio. And they said that you were going to play Mysterio and that there would be a connective layer of tissue that, as it turned out, all three of those characters were the same person. All three were Mysterio, and that you, as Mysterio, Bruce Campbell, had been surveilling Spider-Man from his inception.
That's pretty good.
The entire time. This is the rumor that I read.
Yeah, that's completely insane, but that's pretty good. Basically, you don't even need Mysterio. That was a storyboard that leaked that looked like me in the drawing.
Oh, so they saw...
that's Bruce Campbell as Mysterio. Look, it's proof. Storyboard 27801A.
So, that didn't come to pass. But then, I play the Pizza Papa in the Doctor Strange Part 2.
Essential.
So go back to your string, though.
Okay.
If you think I'm just a Pizza Papa... Not a chance, Lance. No. I signed a contract that was 3 inches thick.
Really?
You think I'm going to sign that for a one-off doing gags with my buddy Sam in his big movie?
No.
Come on, man. Give me a little respect.
That's right.
So, no. What did I do? I delayed Doctor Strange. I did not fight him or defeat him.
Right.
So I either saved his life, potentially.
Ooh.
Or I caused an untimely death that's yet to happen.
You know what I love about this? That you take a rumor, you go, that one's not true, but I'd love to start another one.
Well, that's the beauty of it. W.C. Fields, the great comedian, wrote every single one of his press releases. And every single one was a completely different lie about his background to the point where no one really knows that much about his background.
And you love that.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
He also supportedly, as he traveled about to tour, opened bank accounts all across America in every town because he was afraid of going broke. So he put in like $5 into account. So Topeka, Kansas, there's an account somewhere with W.C. Fields on it that's just sitting there collecting the interest from his $5 from 1934 when he went through as the world's greatest comedic juggler.
And one state could say, "Oh man, he died broke. There's only $5 in this account," because they don't know. Every state,
they don't know.
They don't know.
So he's not broke.
No, he just spread. He spread himself out. Okay, well, let's stay on the rumor train then. I want to know the truth. Okay, how close were we to Jason versus Freddie versus Ash?
It was a lovely 5-minute phone call with New Line.
Okay.
Who we called New Lies Cinema at that point.
Okay.
They were our first distributor of
Right.
Evil Dead. They
Right.
gave us a check, and that was the only check we ever saw. Ever.
Okay, that's
so
nice.
thanks, New Lies Cinema. So they do Jason versus Freddy. They do that. And they go, how about Jason versus Freddy versus Ash? Won't that be great?
Yes.
So we started out pretty immediately of like, yeah, won't that be fantastic? Ash can finally kill both of those assholes. Let's just get it done.
Yeah.
Long pause. You can't affect anything that happens to either of the other characters. You can't kill either of them. And you can't even determine what really happens in the fights. So it's going to be like fight by committee sort of thing. It's like when superheroes fight. What's the point of Batman fighting Superman? There's
Right.
no point.
Right.
Even though Superman could have squeezed his head like a zit.
Right.
But, that's another argument.
Right, but it can't happen because it would. So like, there's enough politics in these fictional characters that because Ash is a good guy, those two are bad guys. You would think
Ash is the only good guy of all these horror series.
right.
Yeah, so
Right,
he
he's
needs
actually
to kill
a
them.
protagonist.
He would need to kill them, even if their eyes pop open at the very end and you cut to the credits like they normally do. Jason's face was ground off in a boat propeller.
Yeah.
Yay, they won. Beat,
Right.
end credits. Okay,
Yeah.
nice try.
I mean, he blew up into a million
Yeah,
pieces.
so
That was halfway through.
creatively, it was bankrupt.
Yeah.
And now you're sharing nothing with three other parties, two other franchises.
Right.
You think they're going to want to play nice?
Right. So
No.
you said no.
We all said it was very quick.
Wow.
Of like, why would we do this?
No.
To make Ash look like he's ineffective?
Yeah, it doesn't really.
No, there's zero into
to just try to. Yeah, you can't. Especially if it's versus, you can't sit there and go, well, how do we maintain the integrity of everyone and everyone just wins?
Well, I'm curious. I didn't see Jason versus Freddy. Neither one won, right?
Well, so the end of that is Freddy gets it's exactly what you think it was. Freddy gets beheaded.
And he smiles at the very end.
Jason is holding the head, the severed head.
Yeah.
And then Freddy winks at the camera.
Oh,
and then
boy.
closes.
Yeah, nailed it.
Nailed
Wow.
it. I
Oh, my
assumed
God.
you'd seen
I didn't
it.
have to see it.
You didn't have to. You got the ending.
God. Jason takes Manhattan. Give me a break.
Well, he was on a boat for most of the movie, but he got to Manhattan eventually.
Well, you got to get to Manhattan.
Sure. How do we get there from Crystal Lake? I don't know. Crystal Lake gets into the Hudson. We go to Manhattan.
It feeds in. It's a tributary thing.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I did hear in an interview, though, that you said there are 2 more Evil Dead
No, that's
movies.
not even a lie.
That's happening.
Yeah, that's like trade information. That's available. Yeah, a couple more. Because the last Evil Dead made the most of any of them previously.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, I think
to go mainstream is just weird. Because normally we would be like, taking film prints around and going to midnight screenings, hoping people like it.
Sure.
And 42nd Street and getting, this is the first Evil Dead was when they used to bicycle prints. I mean, they call it a bicycle. Like literally, you'd have one town with 10 prints, Cleveland. Then you go to Detroit with those 10 prints that are getting crappier and crappier.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. And by the time you're done with the Midwest, you're trying to watch the movie, and it's chopped up into a million
Bubbles
pieces. As
everywhere.
These drunk projectionists are rewinding it. Snap, snap, snap. There you go. I'll put it back for you. It's just terrible. And now the movie, the last one, I don't know how many theaters it came out in, but that's
all of them.
Yeah, enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's weird to see it mainstream, but it's still fun. it's fun to see horror is not really taboo anymore. When I did horror, there was porn at the bottom rung, and then horror was right above it. Now horror is really just like an action movie now with blood.
100%. I mean, an unrated horror movie is.
I give a lot of credit to all the horror movies over the years, including us, but also to shows like Walking Dead.
Yeah.
You get 10 million viewers for 10 years. That's mainstream, boy.
Big time.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel mainstream by the third Evil Dead movie?
Yes. And that's what killed it. That's what Universal was like, no, we know there's been 2 other Evil Dead pictures. We want to call this something completely different.
Right.
What a great idea.
It's perfect.
So we called it Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
And it killed the franchise. We spent too much money on the movie, and they didn't know how to market it. And we didn't really want to make a horror movie, so it's really like a Ray Harryhausen movie with horrible violence.
Yeah.
So yeah, that killed it for a while.
Wow.
Until the DVD craze.
And then people find
companies like Anchor Bay, they put the DVDs out, but they put all the extras in now.
Mm-hmm.
And people got really fascinated to see how the sausage was made.
Yeah, I think putting all the extras in, but also like finding all the weird ways to package it.
Outtakes, all that stuff.
I probably bought the trilogy 7 times over the last 20 years.
We were bad about that. Yeah, slap a new cover on it and put it out.
It looks like the book. I have but this one looks like the book.
Yeah.
I have to have this one too.
Yes, made in a Malaysian sweatshop.
But it did create this audience that is clearly still there for it.
It did. I've met the kids now,
Yeah.
And some, it's fun sometimes because the teenager will come up and go, I hate my dad, but we sure like watching Evil Dead together. I'm like, okay.
It's the one thing that brings us together.
Carnage and mayhem is our bond.
So are the next 2 going to be sequels to this last one?
They're going to have aspects to them, but it's not the George Lucas, 9-movie
arc
that's threaded very intricately. Mm-hmm. We made the first Evil Dead, Ash is dead at the end of the movie. Yeah. We thought, well, that's nice. We'll go on and make other movies that aren't horror films. Our second movie, Crime Wave, has no blood, action, comedy, with a musical number. Thing dropped dead. So we went, oh, maybe Ash isn't dead. So horror was our survival.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, I mean, it's still there with Hysteria.
Yeah.
On Peacock. Do you like that all 8 episodes, they all drop tomorrow?
I'm okay with that.
And they all drop at once.
That's what people want. I watch shows with my wife now, and we go, hey, that was a great episode. Let's watch oh, you bastards.
Same.
It's like, I don't know why they do it, and I don't know why they don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
There must be some Jenkins on Monday morning quarterbacking what was good, what was bad about releasing them all. If you release them all, if you like it, I say release them all.
Yeah.
Because then people go, man, that was awesome. And they'll just, cool.
Keep going and keep going and keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
don't know.
And they even try with some okay, what if we do 3 at a time?
Yeah.
What if we do 3 first and then 1 at a time?
Well, streaming is still this massive experiment.
Right.
They still don't know how to make money from it.
Right.
Other than to charge you now. Everyone drops cable. Mm-hmm. I'll get my individual apps now. Then all the apps are going to combine, and it'll be a digital cable.
Right.
It'll be a streaming cable. You're going to pay just as much,
if not more.
Yeah.
If you want everything, it's going to
Disney Plus.
Everything.
If you want it without ads.
Yeah. 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 Don't worry. You can still get it cheap, but every 3 minutes or so, we're going to throw in an advertisement for something, and yeah. Now, okay. Evil Dead is not your only franchise. There have been multiple franchises, but I don't know if this was your choice or a filmmaker's choice. Maniac Cop 2.
Yeah.
You don't make it through.
Hell no.
Right? You did the first Maniac Cop.
Yeah.
And then Maniac Cop 2, you go out early.
Yeah,
replacement comes in.
Yeah, we couldn't come to terms, baby.
Is that what happened?
Absolutely. I had just gotten divorced. I was in a very, very pissed off mood, and they wanted to go cheap on me. Oh. I said, guys, you might as well just kill me. Just kill me. And they went, okay. And that was okay, too, actually.
Yeah.
I was fine.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think...
I like Bill Lustig. He's a fascinating filmmaker.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, 1 was good.
1 was good.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love that franchise, but yeah, that first one, you did it.
I did it.
You did it.
Well, the key thing with that, it was my first non-Sam Raimi movie.
Maniac Cop was.
Yeah. I'm like,
Oh, I
let me
didn't know
go
that.
start working with other directors that are not named Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Just to see what the deal is.
Yeah.
So that's what that was all about.
So does that have like kind of a warm?
It's not real warm and fuzzy,
Okay,
but
cool,
you know,
cool.
I wouldn't have done it today if I got the script today.
Sure.
But then, hell yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sensibilities change.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's why you're doing Hysteria. And
That's
I've
how
always-
you can smell a crappy script, because you know crappy scripts.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Right. You smell it.
They smell them. I can
Right.
smell them a mile away.
You get a mail too. You open
It's
the
the
envelope.
interchangeable
what's that?
lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
read
guess.
page after page of interchangeable lines. You
Right.
go, oh, this is about nothing.
And you know when you're reading, I could say that. They could say that.
Anybody, a monkey could say that.
Wow. Well, Hysteria. I'm assuming you feel strongly about Hysteria.
I do, actually, because, you know, horror, I set a higher bar now.
Right.
Of like, hey, come on, do a horror comedy. Call it Hysteria. Okay. What's in it?
Mm-hmm.
What's it about? I just thought the writing was good. And to me, that's the key. It's the key. Nothing else trumps good writing. And TV is getting the writers now. My first TV was Knots Landing. And let me tell you, the writers were 1 foot out the door on these shows.
Yeah.
The lighting, you saw 3 shadows on everybody's face.
Mm-hmm.
And after the take, Michelle Lee looks at the camera guy, goes, Benny, how was it? He goes, good. And you're moving on. Yeah. That was TV of 1987.
Right.
Now, it's a movie.
It is.
TV is movies now.
Absolutely.
So the nice thing is the show has it's got every high quality blah blah you need.
And it is to the point where, like, if you watch the trailer for it, you don't know it's a series until it tells you this is, by the way, a series. At the end of it, you're like, this could be a movie.
I think that's the pressure that streaming puts on even TV now.
Mm-hmm.
TV is not allowed to be TV.
Right. It has it's up.
Everything has to be
Cinema.
It has to be the same, because when that show ends, a movie's coming on right after it. It has to look the same.
True. Wow.
Where does Netflix get the money, though? You watch like The Crown and shows like that,
Yeah.
you go, this is like a high budget movie every week, not
Every
just
week.
like a decent budget.
Yeah.
I don't know. They got it figured out, I guess.
That's not our problem.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Hysteria tomorrow on Peacock. Everybody watch it. Bruce, it's always great talking to you. You're the best.
I'll be back for the sequel.
Great. I can't wait.
And maybe a new Evil Dead movie. We'll see.
Come back every time. Every time for all of it. We'll see you soon. We're going to take a break. Welcome back. Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. And I have seen that the Jets organization remains in utter and absolute turmoil. Of course, we followed closely the firing of Robert Saleh, the former now head coach of the Jets, and now another key member of the Jets organization is complaining about the way the team has been using him. Of course, I'm referring to the very important Fireman Ed. You know, Fireman Ed. The fan who wears the fireman hat. You know, Fireman Ed.
You know,
The
fake fireman.
right. From the audience with the fireman hat, Ed. Yes, Fireman Ed has gone public. And he is accusing the Jets, get this, of phasing him out. Which I thought that as long as he bought a ticket and sat in his seat, he was still, kind of in the position that he's always been in. But no, Fireman Ed insists something has been amiss lately at MetLife Stadium at the Jets games. He took to Instagram on Tuesday to allege that his screen time on the video boards at MetLife Stadium, well, they'd been decreasing. And fellow Jets fans were taking notice of it. So this wasn't Fireman Ed in an ego downward spiral, claiming that this was happening to him. No, he's speaking up for the Jets nation.
He's like, hey, listen,
That's right.
I don't care.
I'm a season ticket holder, and I want to know why Fireman Ed isn't on the video screen as much. This is what Ed said, quote, I've been getting a lot of emails and texts from fans about the Jet experience in the stadium with the big screens. Last night in particular, although on the Denver game also, last night in particular, the Jets scored a touchdown, and normally, as a tradition, we're always put on the screen. So he's saying that he's getting a lot of messages from fans, and I don't know if these are Jets fans or specifically Fireman Ed fans. But he's saying that generally when the Jets score a touchdown, part of the reason why the fans get so excited about the Jets scoring a touchdown is
the only reason.
Maybe the only reason.
In some people's minds.
Is that, well, I wonder who in particular, whose mind are you referring to, is that they get to see Fireman Ed leading his section of the crowd in a massive, uproarious cheer for the Jets. That's what they want to see. And they're not getting it.
Do you want to hear what he said?
Yeah.
Hey, I've been getting a lot of emails and texts from fans about the Jet experience in the stadium with the big screens.
In particular,
last night in particular, although on the Denver game also, last night in particular we scored a touchdown, and normally as a tradition, we're always put on a screen, me, Scott, and Jetman are put on a screen to do the Jet chant.
Jetman.
Also, I don't mean to speak for Jetman.
Has Jetman made a public statement yet?
No.
Where does Jetman land on this? Sorry. No, it's okay. I mean, we're all a little dismayed at the fact that the Jets organization seems to be falling apart at the seams. Is there some kind of conspiracy?
I don't know. Are they unionized?
I don't know, but they should be. Superfans should have a union. And also, is this a personal attack on Fireman Ed, or is Jetman who's being targeted here?
Oh, you think like maybe Fireman Ed might be a casualty?
He may be a casualty of a corporate dislike for Jetman.
Interesting.
Don't know.
Outgoing, which is a staple in Jet Life Stadium.
Jet Life Stadium. Did they change the name of MetLife Stadium?
No.
Oh.
No, they did not, Sam.
Oh, okay.
No.
I don't follow sports as closely as you guys.
On the defensive end, which is the most important, normally they will put us on the screen to get the crowd going. It gives them more of a widespread experience for the fans to see, and we can get the defensive chant going. But something's going on in the Jet production team over in Jet Life Stadium. I don't know exactly what's going on, but they're phasing us out. And I'd like to know if somebody knows anything, please let me know, because it's evident that it's happening, and it needs to stop because we need home field advantage. That's what we have, and we need to keep it going. So something's going on. Please let me know if you know something. Thanks a lot. Go Jets.
I like it. I appreciate that he's not levying any heavy accusations. He's more saying clearly something is amiss here. And if anybody has any information, it's like Robert Stack at the end of Unsolved Mysteries. If you have any information.
You think this is an unsolved mystery?
Fireman Ed rallied the crowd and led the defense chant after every touchdown. Yet at some point, the production crew at Jet Life Stadium decided it was better to not show not only Fireman Ed, but the Jetsman.
Good. I hope there is somebody in that truck that's like, you know what, fuck him.
And if that's true, I can guarantee you they've been politicking for at least 2 seasons to stop showing Jetman and Fireman Ed as much. And finally, maybe somebody is out of power. Maybe somebody's not checking as much. Maybe somebody rose to power. But they're able to finally implement some changes, which is maybe shaking it. Now, is he taking credit for... oh, wait, they do clarify this. They say someone else mentioned that Fireman Ed is, quote, just a fan and not actually an employee of the Jets.
So okay. The comments have not been kind to Fireman Ed.
Odd.
Yeah.
Odd, because he is...
Boo-hoo, I'm not on the big screen at the stadium.
Oh, can we trade him to the West Coast team? Another commenter adds. Yeah, he is taking credit. He and his posse that he's saying are the reason home field advantage exists. So before Fireman Ed started doing this, what did they say? Well, the Jets are playing at home, but that's no advantage to them at all.
No. Actually, that crowd is very quiet without the fireman.
Yeah, well, there's nobody on the screen to let the crowd know to respond uproariously. So, really, I mean, they could be playing anywhere. It makes no difference whatsoever.
It really is just the definition of entitlement.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what people say, right? Like, people love a good crowd. People love an energetic fan base.
Sure.
People, there are
It
some
can make all the difference.
100%. And you'll watch, like, look, I don't like either of these teams, but you got to hear this crowd. This is amazing. This is like a spectacle in and of itself. But there is this stereotype where the super fans, they go like, they make it's no longer about the game. It's not about cheering on your team. It's you make it about yourself. You create an identity and you fully make it about yourself. And I worry that Fireman Ed is not doing anything to disrupt that stereotype.
You think that's happening?
Well, I don't know. But he's taking a lot of responsibility
And a lot of credit.
Yeah, full credit. So much so that he's blaming conspiracy on the fact that he's not on the big screen anymore. I think that Fireman Ed doesn't realize that it could just be like a simple oversight.
Yeah, or
like what if there isn't somebody there going like, let's discuss the Fireman Ed policy. What if it's just simply, hey, I guess I forgot we didn't film it.
Yeah, or maybe, listen, both things could be true. Maybe they are phasing him out because they're like, you know what? We don't need to show him on the screen all the time.
Well, we have more than 3 fans.
He's not the identity.
What if they're saying like, look, we got to show the world that there's more than 3 fans. If we just keep showing the 3 fans every game for years, people are going to go, oh, it's just the 3 of them that go to these games.
Maybe the head coach was a huge Fireman Ed fan, and now that he's been fired, they're like, you know what? We don't have to show Ed anymore.
Oh, you think this was a Salah's
Salah's out.
Salah was like, okay, why was he after games? He was like, well, before we talk about my performance, where was Ed? Maybe that's the...
Did you get Ed on the screen?
Maybe that's the explanation for the London game, right? Why wouldn't you fly Ed to London so that we could have some kind of advantage there?
I guarantee you he was upset that they didn't fly him to London.
He probably would. I don't know if I go so far as to say he was upset, but there were definitely conversations going, I've tried to tell some people that if they flew me to London, they don't have to pay me. If they flew me to London, I could get the crowd rallied in London. I mean, they don't know football over there. It's 100% been a point of contention. Do you have a general disdain for superfans or specifically just this thing?
Specific superfans who like really start to think that they're bigger than the game.
Right, that it's like, I'm here to put on a show.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a superfan. There's nothing wrong with that old guy who used to bang his pots and pans.
Freddie says?
Yeah, because he wasn't like, oh, without me, you guys are lost.
Yeah, when the superfans start going, I have a responsibility to this team. I also have a role. It's like,
no, you don't.
You can't give yourself the role and responsibility.
You happened to be the most vocal, annoying part of the crowd, and we played into you.
Right. You made a spectacle of yourself.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Harry in Ohio.
Hey guys, I can't believe this is the topic that finally spurred me to call, but love the show.
All right.
I miss little Jimmy, but yeah, I love sports, but I don't get the whole superfan thing where these guys just think they're bigger than the team or they're part of the team, and they're obviously angling for TV time. I wonder what clicks in their brain that turns them into that. But regarding Fireman Ed, didn't like about 8 years ago, didn't he and the Jets have a falling out of some sort, and Fireman Ed retired his persona and gave up on the Jets, and all of a sudden now he's Mr. Jet again?
I think that's true.
He left after the butt fumble. He was so disgusted with the team.
What was the butt fumble again?
That's when Mark Sanchez fumbled the ball with his butt.
Yeah. That's right. And he said,
Mike, did I get that right?
Wait, now didn't he run into an offensive lineman's ass and fumble?
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Managed to take them to 2 conference championships, though.
More than Aaron Rodgers has done.
Oh, I thought you meant Fireman Ed.
No,
took him to 2 conference championships. Right, but then he pulled a Michael Jordan, right? Didn't he send a fax out to the mainstream media just saying, I'm back?
And everyone was like, who's this?
Right.
Wait, how'd you get this number?
Ed Anzalone? Who?
Yeah, so...
I actually think something similar, I think, occurred where he said that he was getting grief from fellow fans and wasn't getting respect. It just seems like it's repeating itself again. Just sit down, enjoy the game, watch the football, and calm the F down, Fireman Ed.
Yeah, you're probably right. Thank you, Harry. Let's go to Ben in Missouri. What's up, Ben?
Hey, boys.
Hey, man.
So, being a former Karen Rogers fan, and you know that he runs the show.
Did you say Karen Rogers?
Absolutely. So, well, that's how us Packer fans seen him. So, but seeing that he runs the show now, he's got his best buddy Devontae, there, so that the offense is just going to start putting up 50 burgers all the time. But no, I think Aaron Rodgers, since he runs the show, does not like Fireman Ed. Did you say Fireman Ed isn't even a fireman? So it's stolen valor. So it's a guy like that dresses up in a Halloween costume, 8 times a year, and I think Aaron Rodgers is like, yeah, fuck this guy.
Maybe. Thank you, Ben. I love that theory that Aaron Rodgers is just making sweeping organizational changes. I
respect him.
I also love that people, like, no matter what happens with the Jets, there's going to be somebody going like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers did that. Aaron. Nothing can happen here. But I believe it. That's my theory right now. Aaron Rodgers is trying to phase out Fireman Ed, and I'm on Ed's side.
I'll put that. Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, the Jets need him.
They do.
I think so.
Okay.
Because otherwise, they won't know when to chant defense.
Yeah, no, just the letter D and a picture of a fence. People will be like, huh?
The fuck is that? What is that?
What?
D backyard? I don't understand what that's up there for. Mark in New Jersey.
Hey, Sam, how's it going there, brother?
Great.
You're doing a great show, by the way. And I just want to assure you that douchebag Fireman Ed, calling it Jet Life Stadium.
Right.
He's wrong. I'm looking right at it because I work at the racetrack right next door to it. And it says MetLife Stadium on it.
It says that still.
It still says it, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good. I'm glad that we have some bodies on the scene that can give us the true scoop. Okay, thank you, Mark. That's good to know.
Fucking love it, Sam. You have a good one.
Later. John in Connecticut. What's up, John? You there, John? He's listening to his radio. All right. I would never ask that. I don't have the patience. I can't do it.
It's a good show.
John, I mean, it's great. I get where he's lost in it, but he just blew his own opportunity. John in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up?
We're on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about fire. It didn't sound like the normal connect. I don't know about Fireman Phil, but did y'all catch Voss on Gutfeld last night?
I did watch some of Voss on Gutfeld, actually. You know what I thought?
Killed it at the end.
I didn't see the end, unfortunately. I did go to bed, but at one point he used the word "flied" instead of "flew."
Yes, he did.
So I did.
I said, "Voss, there he is."
I said, "Yeah, Voss is true." And Greg is such a gracious host that he didn't bring it up. Voss did say, if they flied on the plane.
Pull his clip from the end when he talks about his wife helping him maintain his sexual hardness.
All right, we'll look into it. He did have some good lines. Thank you, John. It was a lot of fun. It's always fun seeing our friends on those shows. I think we should at least try to get through the first round. We've been talking about this all week. And I feel like we need to declare who the greatest podcast interview of all time is. Now, yesterday we've been making this tournament over the last week and a half, and we came down to the 8 most important, most impactful podcast interviews of all time as podcasts have become more and more influential and really become that sort of mainstream media source for a lot of people. Yesterday, we determined, which I think a lot of people are still very much arguing, that Cat Williams on Shannon Sharp was going to beat Burt Kreischer Kool-Aid from Two Bears. Okay, I got a lot of emails. Me and Fireman Ed. I got a lot of emails. And then also, and this was a shocker, using Hot Dog's logic. Son of a bitch. Props to you, Hot Dog. That was a good moment for you. Will Smith's entanglement on Red Table Talk defeated Kanye West on Alex Jones. So both of those
have advanced into the Final Four. Now, as we look at the final 2 matchups in the Elite Eight, let's go to this one. One is very, very recent. One is one of the kind of OG, holy shit, podcasts really got this big. Okay? I feel like Mark Maron in his podcast WTF is one of you could argue that and Rogan are the 2 most important comedy podcasts of all time, but Mark Maron was doing this WTF show and interviewing comedians when that wasn't a thing. Now everybody does it. It was not a thing. It was not. I mean, it was new territory when Mark Maron started doing WTF, and he rose and he ascended to this level where he actually had President Obama, the sitting president at the time of this interview, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Come to his garage and sit down and do a podcast with him. This was and it wasn't so much the actual content of the show, but the fact that it happened, the fact that the Secret Service pulled into his neighborhood, the fact that, remember, they curtained off his driveway.
Oh, God. It was, they had a whole, page of the New York Post showing, like, the neighborhood.
Yes.
And what was here and what was there. And
yes. And the idea that this takes podcasts and puts them in this whole new category. Is this a moment?
It legitimizes it.
It legitimized it, and it never, the genre never looked back after this moment. Do we have
we have a quick clip.
A quick clip, a quick moment from that?
I'm a comic, so the night that you knew that they were going to shoot bin Laden, you're doing comedy.
I was pretty funny, too.
Yeah. You like comedy?
I love comedy. And
who are your guys?
Well, Pryor was an early one. Yeah. Dick Gregory when he was really on the edge. Seinfeld's a whole nother different type. I know he's a buddy of yours. I love
Louis.
I think Louis is terrific.
That was before the thing, by the way.
Before.
Pre-scandal, by the way. Just so everybody knows, was he going to start canceling Obama? That's pre-scandal.
I think he's great.
Isn't it amazing, though, on this podcast to just hear Mark Maron and Obama just having a conversation?
Yeah.
Like, we still don't really have that. You know what I mean? There's all this. So, yeah.
Well, that ended after,
After Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was this, right? This watershed moment, I'll say.
Yeah.
For podcasting. And then, not that long ago, a year or so ago, all of a sudden this clip, I saw it in the clips first. You probably saw it in the clips first as well. They just started, and you said, what is this? It was this girl, blonde girl.
Very attractive.
Okay. All right.
Oh, you don't think so?
I do, but I mean, it was like, don't forget to mention.
Well, if we're listing, we're just painting the picture for the people.
That stuck out to you. Yeah, okay. I was going to say a very dry sense of humor, but yes, also
as well. She does, yeah.
Yeah.
Very dry.
Troy's nothing if not honest.
Right. No, I like that. But she had a microphone set up, and she's in bed with Drake, and I swear,
very attractive.
Drake?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
very attractive man.
He's a handsome dude.
Right, hot dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sexy, can I? So, but they're in bed together doing this podcast, and I swear when I saw this, I thought it was like just a video Drake had made of like a fake podcast. And then the whole world starts talking about this Bobby Altoff. And this...
Nobody knew who she was before.
Nobody had ever seen this human being before. Apparently, she'd been doing TikToks. She had, I think, 2 episodes of her podcast prior to this. She had like a Rick Glassman interview up. And other than that...
I don't even know who that is.
The comic Rick Glassman?
I don't know who he is.
He's on a show. His podcast is huge. Take off your shoes.
Did it get nasty?
I know him.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yes.
And it ended up...
I did see clips from that. That's where I first saw her. Because they had a little back and forth, and she was so dry, and it was like...
you couldn't tell if it was real.
You couldn't tell, yeah.
That's the appeal. I think it was a bit, but that was the appeal of it. But this is... she shows up with Drake, and the whole world changes. Take a listen.
Am I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you.
I'd do it.
You do it? I asked, am I your type? And you said I do it. It's not funny.
Does your shirt say African Canadian?
What do you mean?
African Canadian what?
Heritage Association.
It was a gift.
From who?
My friend.
What's their name?
Ashley. What's wrong with that? You're
Like-
weirder than I thought you were.
So it's this weird,
so weird,
dry, kind of flirtatious, but kind of insulting and kind of uncomfortable. Now, and she gets huge after this. She's doing all this stuff with Funny Marco everywhere you look. Her character, she has dropped the character a little bit.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
Because I think, like, after a while, people realized it was a character.
Yeah, but
'Cause
like
I sure as shit was very confused when this first came out. Like, how could this woman possibly have a podcast?
But I thought that was the whole thing. Is like she's confused by the questions, and she asks like she's so dry, and there's like
But
like,
I think it's the fact that nobody knew if it was actually her or a character.
Yeah.
And then eventually everybody figured, oh, this is a character. But she did one with like Andrew Santino. It was like, oh, okay, this is a character.
I think she had Jessica Alba on, and she was actually like, "Oh, I really like you," and you're going like, "Huh?" Because I'm looking. Who's the guy? Dax Flame. You know Dax Flame?
I don't think so. But I already said I didn't know one guy.
Dax Flame is my favorite. He makes all this. He was in that movie Project X, but he just makes a ton of internet content. He's been doing it for years and years and years. And like,
oh, he looks familiar.
Right? Nobody's ever seen him break.
Okay.
And nobody knows if it's a character or not. I feel like when people have these great characters,
Nathan Fielder.
Right. And then they break it, it's because they're like, oh, but maybe I can just kind of shift into mainstream. And I don't really like that. I like when you stay true to the character.
I never want to see.
Nobody's ever seen me break character.
Huh? Hell are you talking about?
I have a very bassy, masculine voice in real life.
I thought you were just naturally this cool.
No.
I didn't know it was a character.
It's a character.
Okay.
I'm actually a nerd in real life. That's right. But when it comes to this battle,
Yeah. Between Louis C.K. loving Obama.
Pre-scandal, by the way. Don't cancel Obama over this. Like
pre-Kendrick Drake interview.
That's right. I have to think that picking Bobby Altoff would show just a egregious amount of recency bias.
Oh, I think you'd be insane if you did.
we do have to mention though.
Attractive?
She did it. Yeah, she's extremely attractive.
We did mention that.
She did it in bed with Drake, which was I don't know if I've ever seen a podcast
in a bed.
In a bed.
Okay.
I've seen two people in bed together, and one had a radio show connection.
He's talking about you and Ian Halpern, His Highness Hollywood. That was in bed, but we didn't broadcast from there.
That's right. We just took a picture. And you did an interview while I was in. Was I in the bed with him when?
I would imagine.
I think so.
I do love that. I do love that you're like.
I
we're
wanted
like,
to be naked though. By the way, he wouldn't let me.
He did want to be naked.
He flat out
Ian said no. Ian said no. Just leave the underwear. He said, leave the underwear on.
He'll take the bit only so far.
Only so far.
I love that it's like Mark Maron had a sitting president, and Troy's like, yeah, but this one was in a bed.
Yeah, don't forget, guys.
No,
this was in a bed.
It was in a bed. She was married. She has 2 children with her husband, and Drake ruined the marriage, and they are now divorced because of this podcast.
Hot Dog, do you have a take on this?
So I think we're all going to agree that the winner is probably Obama, but you should probably mention that I feel like this was the start of the Drake downhill. We're open to hate.
Great point. People started hating on Drake after this. They thought he was corny for doing the interview. They didn't like that he didn't do hip hop interviews.
Right.
And instead did Bobby Altoff.
Yeah.
Right. And then what happened? Kendrick was like, now's the time.
Yeah, let me pick this up.
Now's the time. You got it. I got you, Black Twitter.
So I feel like that should also be mentioned.
That is worth mentioning. And against almost anybody else here, it might have a fighting chance, but I just feel...
Even with the fact that this was in a bed?
And she's attractive. She's hot.
No,
and
I
it
am-
ruined her marriage.
I am aware of the furniture.
Okay.
I'll
give my vote first. Obama.
Oh, wow.
I mean...
Okay, anybody not saying Obama? Okay, Obama it is. Obama moves on, but, you know, it was a gallant effort. And then the final one, of course, this one, people may not even remember how impactful it was because Elon has become such a pop culture fixture. His voice is so out there now. But really, Elon's voice wasn't out there like that.
No.
when this podcast happened. Elon was really just known as the science man who made PayPal and then invented rockets and electric cars.
And the guy who called the scuba diver pedophile. Don't forget that.
Okay, well, I think it's a little bit.
Back to the mic.
Hold on.
What was the profession of that guy that he said it about?
Was it a scuba diver?
No, because you previously had described him as a scuba diver.
No, you know, English is my second language, so.
What's your first language?
Say it in Spanish then.
Él le llamó al scuba diver un pedazo.
He said scuba diver.
You can't use the excuse that English is your second language.
Because it's not, by the way. He was born in the United States.
What does Domino's serve?
Pizza.
Pizza. So, of course, I'm talking about Elon Musk doing the Joe Rogan experience and deciding to smoke weed, or hash, I think it was. I think it was hash, like he thinks he's done before.
And what year was this? Do we know?
I don't.
Is he still in L.A. when this? He was.
Yeah. This was pre-pandemic.
So it's pre-pandemic. Yeah.
It was a different time.
Like 2018, 2017, something like that. Because I was still here.
2017? This has been 7 years? No.
Wow. I'm looking at the backdrop, and I remember I was putting that photo of Elon smoking around all the computers here. So, so I think it's probably 2018, 2017.
Okay, that's good. That's a good.
Oh my God, you're right. It was 2018.
Come on.
That's good. First of all, hot dog just now. If you could have been you should have been videoing this because he looked exactly like the white security guard with the Jerry curl in the Michael Jordan documentary. Come on, with his hands out. Come on,
that guy's the GOAT.
Yeah, he is.
So I think up until this time, Rogan had on, obviously big people, but nobody as big as Elon. Right?
People couldn't believe that Elon was on.
Yeah, couldn't believe he was doing a podcast.
That's right. That's right. Let's take a listen to the moment that people say break the internet, but this moment it clips everything.
So is that a joint? Or is it a cigar?
No.
Okay.
It's marijuana
It's weed.
inside of tobacco.
Oh, okay. So it's like posh tobacco posh.
You never had that?
Yeah, I think I tried one once.
You probably can't because stockholders, right?
Always peer pressure.
It's such a classic peer pressure technique. You probably can't do this.
It's all good, man. Your mom won't let you.
No. I've had that once.
I don't live with my mom anymore.
No, she doesn't tell me what to do.
My mom told me not to, but I don't care. I don't even care. You're not gonna tell her, right? I don't care.
It's fine.
You probably can't because stockholders, right?
I mean, it's legal, right?
It's totally legal.
Okay.
How does that work? Do people get upset at you if you do certain things?
Smelling it.
There's tobacco and marijuana in there. That's all it is.
What a different time.
He doesn't inhale.
No.
The combination of tobacco and marijuana.
He didn't inhale at all, and then he made this face, and with 5 seconds later, he goes, "I'm not feeling a thing, bro. This ain't shit to me.
I must be Superman.
I'm the fucking man. I don't know if anybody told you that."
Marijuana is wonderful. First turned onto it by Charlie Murphy, and then reignited by Dave Chappelle. There you go.
Plus whiskey. Exactly.
Perfect. Balances it out.
I mean, alcohol's a drug. It's been grandfathered in.
Well, it's not just a drug. It's a drug that gets a bad
So
rap.
to me, this moment, this show, this whole thing, this is why he bought Twitter. This is why he's at Trump rallies. This is why he's outspoken now. This started everything. This is there are two different Elons. There's pre-JRE and there's post-JRE. And post-JRE Elon is a completely different beast than pre. This changed everything.
You got a taste for the first time.
And he liked it.
Yeah, being with the cool kids.
And he liked it. He liked it. This is why he got booed on Chappelle's stage. This is why it all happened. So it's going to be tough to beat. But then you got Conan on Hot Ones. Conan is, I feel like as every year goes on, Conan is more and more beloved. And you get somebody who made such a name for himself in traditional media that is able to grow and acclimate and figure out how to exist in a world of new media. And it's hard to think of an example of somebody better than Conan at doing just that. And I think the quintessential example of him doing that is the fact that he went on Hot Ones, started a bit at the beginning of the show, carried the bit throughout the entire show.
With a doctor?
With a fake doctor. And ate the hottest wings humanly possible. And instead of giving into the pain, would not let go of his bit. Let's take a listen.
Whoa. What's gonna happen? What's wrong with you people? You don't know what real danger looks like anymore.
Incredible.
Yeah. So, my question to you.
Takes a swig of the hot
Is there a
drinks.
point when these get warm? Just a little bit warm. Anything at all.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Oh, here's a question for you.
You can hear it in his voice as he said when they get warm, he's like, oh my God, oh my God. The things that his body is going through at that moment, but he won't break.
I think what was so big about this was that it introduced Conan to another generation.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Like that whole week, all I saw on Twitter were people celebrating him and reposting his old clips, people finding his old clips, people realizing like that this guy is brilliant.
Brilliant. I think there may be no better example of the phrase, he understood the assignment. He went in.
Yeah.
He understood the assignment, and it's like...
He knows the audience.
Even if you're a hater, like, you can't hate on this.
No.
It's too good. It's beloved.
But...
It didn't change the
There's
world.
also a reason it's the number 8 seed.
Because it's beloved, because it's fun, because we love it. And it makes us feel good. But I've got 3 podcasts in the final 4 that I would argue quite literally changed the world.
And this one's not one of them.
You don't think Conan on Hot Ones changed the world?
No, Elon.
Troy, do you think Conan on Hot Ones changed the world?
It was incredible, but it did not change the world.
Changed the world, Hot Dog? What about Elon on Rogan? The world's changed. World's changed with Elon on Rogan? Travis?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad Hot Dog's over there, using thumbs up and thumbs down.
No
when it's
camera on it.
No, it's an audio. It's an audio
I have
medium.
the mic on in case he talks.
I thought it was cute.
Yeah. No, you're not
No,
cute.
because he's cool. All right, Elon.
Middle-aged man.
He is a middle-aged man. Elon.
Welcome, buddy.
Yeah. He's deep into his mid-30s. Elon moves forward in this competition, and now you've got a Final 4, okay? Let's talk about this. Let's really break this down, okay?
That's good.
President Obama goes on WTF and changes the whole way podcasts are looked at. You could argue the whole way presidents are looked at. Legitimizes it all, but also humanizes this role that was in desperate need of humanization in a society that values the humanity of people and not, turning them into icons. Will Smith was maybe he's the quintessential Hollywood A-lister, blockbuster movie star. Everyone loved him.
Yeah. Yeah. But everybody also knew that there was something going on.
And that something was unlocked.
There were rumors for years.
After a glassy-eyed conversation.
Was he glassy-eyed?
He was very glassy-eyed. About an entanglement with his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, who had already made...
Tupac's girl.
Well, she had already made comments about Tupac. That didn't help at all.
No, that's the thing. She made comments about Tupac.
You know what it was? It was a moment that confirmed a belief.
She had made comments about not wanting to ever be married to Will Smith.
She did. She had said that.
Crying on her wedding day to her grandmother.
She mentioned that. He's not Tupac, she said, as she wept into her grandmother's arms.
I see too many changes.
Right. He is not out on bail or fresh out of jail. He doesn't know anything about Brenda or her baby.
So you got Will Smith.
Mm-hmm. He thinks parents don't understand. Who is this guy?
We are parents.
So, are we looking at the self-destruction of one of the biggest movie stars this country has ever known. And I mean, I would argue that entertainment is the number one export globally in America. It's what we produce better than anybody else is entertainment.
Or bombs.
We do bombs good, too. But what do we do when we find out we're so good at bombs? We make a movie about it.
Yeah.
Because entertainment's that important. We go, oh, look how good we are.
We make Independence Day.
Well, I was thinking of Oppenheimer, but sure. Okay. Independence Day.
I was trying to tie it back to Will Smith.
No, you did a good job. Yeah, no. I was thinking, yeah, sure. But Obama is the actual president. This is...
Not Bill Pullman?
I wish Bill Pullman was the president after that speech. I would have voted for him on the spot.
I would have run through a brick
I'm
wall.
undecided right now. I was not undecided after that Bill Pullman speech. It's Independence Day. That was the speech.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
So, I don't even know where to start with this Obama-Will Smith thing. You know what? I mean, I feel like there's a deeper...
Oh, yeah.
There's a deeper conversation that is going to require heavy thought, heavy research, because then on the other side of the bracket, we're going to have to get into Elon Musk. We're going to have to pick. Not only between that's the easier one. I think Obama on WTF versus Will Smith Red Table Talk Entanglement is actually an easier one, and I don't have an answer.
Absolutely.
But I think it will be easier than the Eastern Conference, which is...
Is that the Eastern Conference?
This is the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's on the west side of the page.
Okay.
I just realized it's not East, whatever. Elon Musk on Rogan versus Cat Williams on Club Shay Shay.
That's a hard one.
Whoa. I mean, that one, it may take literal hours to figure that out. That's kind of something that we may need to sit
a real
with.
deep dive.
Yeah, to sit with for a while. And just think, because you got to think about, because now we're talking about world changers. You got to sit and think about which one of these shows changed everything more, which was more impactful. Cat Williams called Diddy. Okay? Diddy.
Called out Cedric.
Steve Harvey.
Now it just depends on what you're scaling everything, because one is more impactful, changing the world, but one had way more memes.
That's such a good point, dude.
Way more memes.
That's such a good...
we have Hot Dog here.
That's such a good point. And let me ask you, Hot Dog.
You'll never say that.
Yeah, and you just did it. You did the meme. Why can we compare Hot Dog to that guy? Is it because we remember the scene in the doc? Let me ask you, why was the guy shrugging? Don't recall, do you?
I don't know.
But you remember the meme?
I remember the meme.
That's it. Is there anything more important in 2024 than memes?
Nope.
I mean, buying Twitter is big, but getting that shrug is debatable.
It almost gets you to a point where you're like, what is bigger? Creating memes or owning the platform in which we spread the memes? That's crazy.
Memes could also change the world themselves, so.
Oh, they have.
Yeah.
They absolutely have. And see, because of that, now that conversation is probably, because Paul Rudd listens. I don't know if you can. Paul Rudd, he listens to the show. So he's probably sitting there going like, well, if you guys were basing this on memes, why wouldn't my Hot Ones be the one that made it?
It was in the conversation.
It was in the conversation, Paul Rudd, just so you know. And it just wasn't, it didn't make it. What can I tell you? This is weighing on my soul now. This is big. But I think we're going to have to take a pause. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of big, speaking of moments, fresh out of the woods of the great white north, the man that Travis Teff predicted would be an outdoorsman once we saw him again.
That's right, I did.
Jim Norton is back.
Yeah. Good.
Good.
I've been traveling since 12:30 last night. I didn't, and I didn't think I was going to make. I took a 7:00 flight, and I'm like, all right, I'll come in for a little while.
7 p.m.
7 a.m. out of Toronto.
Oh, I see.
And my driver, well, you know, They were doing a documentary on him.
What was the doc?
It's called A Very Timid Man. He was driving in a very timid fashion. How was Bruce Campbell?
Oh, he's great.
Good.
I mean, he's the man. He's the man. How are you?
I'm okay. But as usual, Jim Norton I was gonna, I had to come in. Jim Norton disappoints always.
No.
And I am not allowed to really discuss what we did because there was an NDA.
Sure.
That they made me sign. And
okay. I can dance around an NDA.
Yeah.
Was it?
Well, it's and I'll show it to you. It's $1 million NDA. My manager went fucking ballistic when he saw this,
bro.
They wanted to make sure that people are shut the fuck up.
It's like a Diddy NDA. That's a real. I don't know, what were they doing in the woods? Did it? Were your expectations warranted or unwarranted going in?
I will say this. The woods, I am just not.
And you're not a camping. You're not a woods guy.
No. Okay. Oh no.
Oh man.
No. The woods are a very strange place, man. I just don't. Yeah. Not a woods guy. I'm just talking around.
Sure. Can you tell us if you slept outside, or you can't even say that because of the?
Well, yeah, we were in the woods. I mean,
yeah, but there was it wasn't like you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was sleeping outside.
Well,
Oh.
Yeah. Tents. I'm not a tent.
Oh, you're not a tent guy. Just generally speaking.
I'm not a woods person.
You're not a woods person.
No.
You're generally speaking not a tent guy.
The woods are just not a comfortable place.
Right.
For many reasons.
Are you still friends with Bob Kelly? Just generally speaking.
In general, well, yeah, of course, that stuff I could say yes.
Yeah.
We're all still friends.
Are you gonna probably hang out with him this weekend?
No.
Maybe take a little break.
No, but I will say that no, I'm still friends. I was happy for Bob with certain things. I mean,
sure,
Bobby is but I'm just glad to be back. I just wanted some normalcy.
So how long were you gone for, fully? I guess because we heard from you a week ago Monday.
Yeah, I was unable to. I wanted to call in, and I was completely unable to.
Legally, or you just physically couldn't?
Physically couldn't.
Wow.
There was no.
You just couldn't do it.
There was no time to do it. Yeah. We had a bunch of stuff to do, and then we just
in the early morning.
Yeah, but I did. Good news is I did get to take a 4-hour car ride with Bobby Lee today to get to the airport.
For a 7 a.m. flight?
We had to get there before we left at 12:30 a.m.
So from 12:30 to 4:30, you're in a car with Bobby Lee.
Yeah,
this morning.
Yeah, and then we got dropped off because he's flying to Los Angeles, and I'm like, "Hey, is this my terminal?" And Bobby's like, "Yeah, it's international." And I did what every smart person does. You listen to Bobby Lee.
Right. Come with me, Jim. Come with me, Jim.
Sure. And I walk up and down the terminal, probably 20 minutes, and I can't find American Airlines. And the woman says, "Well, you're in the wrong terminal."
Did you inform her? You don't understand. Bobby Lee told me I was right.
Not only... The last thing I said to Bobby Lee, when he's going to his thing, he goes, "All right, man, I love you." And I go, "All right, man, I love you too." And we fist bump. And then 20 minutes later, he sees me still wandering around, but now there's a woman walking me.
Oh.
And she was a very nice lady. There's nice people in Canada. And this nice lady in Toronto goes, "I'll show you where." So she's literally walking me to the train. And I see...
go terminal to terminal. Which, by the way, having to figure out how to go terminal to terminal and carrying your luggage is an utterly painful experience at 5 o'clock in the morning.
And it was big luggage. It was overpacked, like giant luggage. It was
sure,
10 days worth of
You've
luggage.
been doing stuff.
Yeah. And I walked by Bobby Lee as he was on his way and he realized I was in the wrong place. And you've never seen anybody give a fuck less than Bobby Lee when I'm lost. It's like a minute ago, it was like, "I love you, man." And then 20 minutes later, it's like, "All right, man." And I'm like, "I'm in the wrong terminal." And he just kept walking.
He didn't care at all.
Literally, if I said I was having a stroke, he would have kept walking. He didn't care.
We've already said our goodbyes.
We said our goodbyes. He had his headphones in.
Oh.
He didn't give a fuck. So I got here. So I'm glad I'm here. I'm very happy I'm here. I really missed this.
You were 4 hours away from the airport?
Uh-huh.
Wow. And that's in the middle of the night. It's not even like traffic.
No traffic. No. Till I got here. And
well, yeah, sure. You lay in the middle of rush hour.
Yeah, a very timid man.
And you were being driven by the star of the documentary.
Yes, a very timid man, and they underline "very."
Oh man!
So I wish I could talk more about it. I feel like I want to, but I was like, I have to just come in and let people know, like I can't.
When do we get? Do we have any idea when we might get to see
I
anything?
have no idea. I truly don't know. I mean, I have no idea. It was not what I was expecting.
It was not what you were expecting.
No.
Better, worse? Difficult, more or less difficult?
Yeah. I would say more. Yeah.
More? You were dragging?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, I can't wait to see this.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, if it,
yeah, okay,
I don't know. I mean,
Sure.
I hate to come in and be vague. You know me. I would love to spill everything.
But I get it too.
It's $1 million. I'm not saying it's expensive. It's $1 million NDA.
Jonathan was not happy with the NDA.
He's like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, I know.
You didn't know about it going in.
No.
Wow.
How was the temperature?
Cold. You know, Canada's
brutal cold.
We had to get de-iced this morning on
Oh, jeez.
on the.
We were thinking about you because it was like 2 days this week. It was chilly here. It's like
It was in
45
Yeah.
degrees here, and we were and then somebody called in from like Milwaukee or something where it was freezing, and it was like, oh boy.
Yeah, we were a little delayed leaving this morning because I was supposed to fly out this afternoon. I was supposed to come out like a 2:00 flight, and I just was like, I want to just go. So,
Are you relieved?
Yeah, I'm glad it's done. Yeah, I'm happy it's done. I hated going away for that length of time. It was just,
I'm sure.
It's been delayed for 2 years, this thing, and it was Bobby's pet project. So of course, and I love Bobby Lee and I love Yamanika. So
You were probably all in that same boat. It's very difficult for all of you guys to have a lot of stuff going on that you're just going to disappear from it for.
Yeah, I mean,
10 days. Like, that's a long time.
Bobby and Yamanika are flying right to gigs. Bobby Lee is going back to LA, and then tomorrow he's going to San Francisco to do gigs.
I mean, what about the decompression time? Don't you think you need decompression after
tonight? Yeah,
there are marks on your face.
I was going to ask.
Oh, you see,
well, I wanted to know. I was going to ask if there's a story behind those marks, or if it's just a sleep apnea mask.
Right, it could be just a sleeping thing, but there are
Like
two
there's
marks
two
on
marks
your face.
on your face.
Well, I can tell you this: I can't even use my mask at home, much less when I'm away.
Okay.
I did not have my mask.
Okay.
You didn't have it with you. Okay.
Well, where would I plug it in?
No, that's right.
No, I thought maybe on the plane.
No. No.
Yeah, I mean, you look like you've been through it.
Yeah, I'm so happy
Worse
to
for
be.
wear.
I'm so happy to be back. You have no idea.
I mean, what are you going to do when you get home? Are you just going to like lay down in your comfortable apartment and just not do anything, or do you think your wife's going to want to be like, "Hey, now that you're home, we should go to lunch"?
No, she's not. She's not a big "Hey, let's go to lunch" person.
Okay.
No, she'll be happy I'm there. It'll be nice to see her. But yeah, I just need a day, and then I'm shooting something the 18th. So I think tickets are on sale for the Village Underground. I'm shooting a special, so I'm just
Not tomorrow. You mean November 18th?
November 18th.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm very, very loopy right now.
Why?
It's just been a long. I'm very happy to be back, though. I really feel good.
I'm sure
to be back.
To be back.
Yeah.
Not about what you've done.
I'm happy.
Happy to be over.
I would have been very happy if I had missed out on this one.
Right. Yeah. So the last. Yeah. You would have preferred maybe just being here doing the show, just doing your regular stuff.
Yeah.
What do you do with Bobby Lee in a car for 4 hours?
You have moments like Bobby's on his phone a lot, just watching something, and I was doing nothing, and he made a noise. He said something, so I went, "What?" And he goes, "What?" And I go, "Well, you said something." He goes, "Oh, I made a noise." He goes, "Mind your business." told me to mind my business. Like I was looking at his phone.
You're sitting in a car next to him.
He told me to mind my business.
And there's nobody else in the car that he's doing bits
No,
for.
it was a guy driving. It was me and him in the back.
Mind your business.
Mind your business. Like I was trying to fucking spy on his phone. It was so crazy. Bobby Lee is nuts.
I just love that he's that nuts, that it's not like this character.
No.
That's what we were talking about people who put on characters and they just like eventually break them. Bobby Lee doesn't break.
No, he's funny though. Bobby's a very, very funny person. He put up a photo, I guess on the way home today. I gave it to him, I think last week, of us with it was a benefit we did, a 9/11 benefit we did.
I thought it was from the woods.
No. It was from 2002. A benefit we did, yeah. And he put it up. He looks like a young twink.
Without getting into any specifics, were there any frightening moments? Oh yeah, look at him. That's Mad TV Bobby.
That's Mad TV Bobby.
Even Joey Diaz is young in that picture.
Yeah.
And you're so smooth and supple.
I am, yeah. I'm a soft.
That's your Sinead O'Connor face.
It is, yeah. Yeah, that was end of May 2002.
Wow. So without getting into specifics, did you have any moments that were frightening?
Yes.
There was frightening?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't like
frightening like other animals, or frightening like creatures or ghosts and goblins.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying anything about any. I'm literally, because by saying yes or no to one thing,
okay,
I am by default saying something, and
it's $1 million.
It's not Bobby. I'm worried. I'm not worried about Bob Kelly.
Companies involved.
There's production. Yeah,
sure.
There's producers.
Sure. I mean, you sign a thing like that, they're going to hold you.
And if producers think you do anything which somehow impacts their financial shit,
they're going to get it back.
Yeah, and they're not all people I know. It's not like producers are weird.
Yeah,
they're for them it's a business.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not like. It's not like it's Bobby. It's
right that you could just be like, yeah, come on, and he'd be like, yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
They're business people. But I feel bad. It's very disappointing. I know,
but you're in the
2 weeks, and I come back with that lame shit.
No, you're in the
I had to come in and do it in person. I felt bad just calling, going, yeah, guys, I can't
say anything. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you're here, and even getting any little bites.
The car ride with Bobby Lee was.
I mean, that's great in and of itself.
He's such a.
And that you're coming back with marks on your face.
And I said to Bobby at one point, I'm like, we were trying to find a gas station. There was nothing open. And we had been driving for 2 hours at this point.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
And I just said to the driver, I'm like, hey, can we pull over? I got to pee. And then Bobby has his earphones in, and he goes, what? And I told the guy I got to pee. He goes, yeah, I've had to fucking piss for an hour. I'm like, all right, I didn't know. I'm not your fucking grandmother.
Why don't you mind your business, Bobby?
He gets very, very angry.
Right.
Very quickly.
It's a 1 or a 10.
It's a 1 or a 10.
And then, you can knock him off the 10, go back to the 1, no problem.
And then he's right back.
Right.
Yeah, these Bobby Lee has flare-ups.
Yes.
Flare-ups.
This may be too specific. Any bathroom complications? This was a concern going in.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
There were. There were some.
I mean, and to be fair, we could have guessed that a mile away. We assumed going in. So that's certainly not new information, more confirmation, but really not even confirmation in the sense that obviously it wasn't going to be pretty.
I mean, I mean, and I'll say that, I have to, I'll say
Okay.
I'm not a good shitter anywhere.
Sure. Yeah, you have rituals and processes.
Yeah. I think everybody does, right?
To an extent, but not to the extent that they think about it the way you think about it.
A lot.
Yeah.
How's Hot Dogs filming today? Good.
I think good. He's been. So I don't know. A lot of things have happened since you've been gone. Troy opened his big mouth, right? So there was this. This is probably my highlight of the week. I don't know if the listeners were into it or not, to tell you the truth. But there was a student at Indiana University, and he had announced to everybody he was going to eat 25 Raising Cane's chicken tenders, and that everybody should meet on the quad or wherever they were, and they can watch him eat the chicken tenders. And he quit at 19. So we were all like, that's bullshit. 25 doesn't even seem like that much. And very similar to the Navage moment years ago.
Yeah.
Troy goes, I could house 25 easily. And immediately I looked at him and go, yeah, could you do it in 3 hours? And without thinking about why 3 hours might have popped into my head, he goes, easily. I go, okay, tomorrow is the day. And we did. By
the way, I did this morning see. I went back and looked at posts and stuff, and I did see photos of him in front of.
What are you showing him, Hot Dog?
He's just showing me a reel.
Oh, yeah, we haven't posted it yet, but
by the way, he's showing me that because he knows how well shot it is.
course.
Oh, he's not me.
You did shoot it well.
He's so into his footage,
I don't need the slow motion. I don't need. Actually, not bad.
Well,
you know what? That's good.
He's completely into his own stuff.
You know what? It looks good.
It does.
I have to say, it looks really good.
It does. And Troy down 20, which was good. And then took a laxative when he got home and soiled his sweatpants.
Did you really? Good boy.
Well, let's say I did 16 in the first hour.
Yeah. I mean, 16 in I feel like it was almost
45 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I saw that picture. Wait, how big are they?
They're full size.
Oh.
And they're a meaty tender for sure.
They're breaded and they're fried.
And he dipped them all in sauce.
And you got through how many? 20?
16, and then I hit a wall, and then I had 2 hours to finish the rest of them.
Sure.
I made it. I tied with 19, and then because I wanted to beat the guy's record.
Sure.
And he did.
And I did, but it was tough.
Did you think you were going to puke?
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that bad?
I thought I was burping, and
we had to tell him to stop pushing burps.
But you couldn't do the last 5. You were like, no way. Okay.
I didn't eat for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So I got home, took a laxative, shit myself. It was a whole ordeal.
But he did 20, which is impressive.
That's pretty fucking impressive.
But then he got chicken drunk halfway through.
Yeah.
I didn't know that happens, but I guess when you overconsume, it's like because he got glassy-eyed and was saying things clearly without thinking.
Yeah.
He was just giving his true opinions on things.
Yeah.
And he just started going off on Hot Dog for his shots being too tight. He said he keeps watching these reels that Hot Dog posts, and there's no headroom, and the shots are way too tight because he uses this stupid lens all the time. And yeah, so
he manufactured a whole outrage, which now if you look at every single reel
go
on
back
the
to
Jim and Sam.
Look at Chris Jericho. Look at that.
Where's the headspace? I mean, come on.
The logo. First of all, the watermark's on his head.
It's tight.
Where else is it going to be?
It's
probably
zoom
above
out
his
a little
head.
bit.
Above his head.
He can't zoom out.
Because first you were like, it's too low, and then it's too high, and then I brought down the watermark.
It is on his head.
You got to zoom out.
Okay, well then I'll.
Why
do you want empty space?
It's a telescopic.
You got this whole thing right here. You got the torso. You got the
sure.
You got the head.
Troy's point was that it was just because he really analyzed the videos. All of his videos, when they're formatted for a reel, they have a lot of torso space.
And none of these.
And cutting the head, the head is right up into the top.
You're both right. I think a good close-up is nice, but I do think because you're watermarking, the watermark there should be a little space with the purpose of the watermark. But if you weren't watermarking, you'd be perfect.
I had it higher up. I had the watermark higher up. And he was like, it's too high.
It looks great to me, but unfortunately, because Troy pointed that out while he was chicken drunk, a lot of listeners started analyzing the videos more acutely.
And they sided with you.
Actually, if you look at the comments, all of them are about how tight the shots are now.
This is manufactured. This is not.
And the unfortunate thing about Hot Dog is, as much as he lives to be complimented on his camera work, being insulted for his camera work drives him absolutely up a wall.
So I commented on somebody else on the Jericho one because that one got me really upset.
He got you.
I basically just did what you wanted me to do by complimenting his camera work. I was just saying, wow, that looks really good. That's well shot.
Oh, that's all he wanted.
So I just fed into it.
That's it.
Thank you.
That's it. He's a narcissist.
Some loser was like, he doesn't know the 101s of compositions and exposure. Shut up.
You mad? Mad?
Yeah, well, because you started this, Troy.
And by the way, you do excellent work. I think that.
Well, now we can't. Now it's too late. Now it's out in the open. Now we got all these comments coming in.
Okay, so take that as a sign to zoom out a little bit.
Just follow your instinct, Hot Dog. Don't listen to the haters.
Did the food prompt you just to start saying shit you didn't care?
Yeah, and I would be in the middle of a thought. I just couldn't even remember what I was talking about, and you get fucked up.
Dipping in barbecue sauce. Bring up an article about Palestine. Oh no.
Yeah, it was. We had to be careful. I had to be careful talking to him because you could see.
Yeah.
His very tiny filter that exists normally is completely disintegrated. It's been melted by chicken grease.
Yeah, there's something happening when you eat too much. Your fucking body is.
And I started feeling like I had the flu.
Yeah.
I started feeling like, I'm getting sick. And then you get home, I started walking, and then I was like, I'm fine. But yeah, it really fucks you up.
I feel like you're in a bit of a fever dream at one point. Yeah. Start spitting out true facts, things you don't.
Chicken on the breath.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I understand.
Yep.
I was burping. You could smell it, weren't you? Like, oof.
He did burp. At the end, he burped, and it smelled like somebody was literally cooking chicken tenders.
Did you eat any?
No, I didn't have one. The other guys had, like, Travis had a couple. Dom over there had a couple. But, like, yeah, we got extra just so everybody can have a chicken finger breakfast if they wanted. But sitting here and Troy sat in your seat to do it.
That's good.
We cleaned everything up.
Yeah, of course.
Please.
It was just for the camera. But
I'm in no position to worry about germs. The life I've lived.
But sitting across, like, watching him for the entire show, because he phone screened as well.
Sure.
But watching him through the entire show, there couldn't have been anything less appetizing about chicken tenders at that point.
Than watching him almost vomit.
Terrible.
Well, congratulations on 20. That's pretty fucking impressive.
It was impressive. Thank you. He played like a champion. That's the point.
Do you have an earring, Dom?
Yeah.
I just noticed that.
Oh, probably because I've been going like that.
Oh.
It's cool, dude.
Yeah. And only one?
Yeah, sorry. Just one. Yeah.
Okay. In the right? Does that mean anything or no?
It did in the 90s.
They say that, but it's 2024 now. No one.
Maybe it does
I
change.
had both in college originally.
Okay, I just happened to notice that as you lean forward.
Yeah.
You have an earring.
You're cool, dude.
You should get like a dangly one, like a cross or a dagger. Or
Yes.
something.
Isn't that kind of cringy to do?
You know what you should do?
Awesome.
You should get an earring with a chain on it, and then get your nose pierced.
And then link them up.
And link
Yeah.
them.
And then you can sort of pull on one and pull on like
like Rachel Bolan from Skid Row.
That'd be badass.
That would be badass.
Would you have laughed at me if I came back and I had like a nose ring?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You'd be the man.
Yeah.
You think so?
I was hoping you'd come in with like camo fatigues on or something, like your Bear Grylls.
Oh.
Like you're a nature guy now. You know what? I really changed out there.
I don't eat processed shit.
Right. I hunt my own food
Yeah.
now.
I don't waste.
Would you consider doing that after your experience, going out in the woods to hunt your own food?
I would literally rather starve to death. I would rather starve to death.
Travis, your prediction seems to have been wrong.
We don't know for sure because of the NDA.
I mean,
That
a
is
lot
true.
of the evidence points to one thing.
But I can say it with nothing to do with what I did this weekend. Your question is,
That has nothing to do. I'm not asking.
Would
about
I-
this weekend.
would I
Would
be-
you, with all your life experiences combined?
Yep.
Would you go into the woods and hunt your own food?
I would rather starve to death. My answer remains the
Question
same.
answer.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I'd hate fishing. I hate all of it.
Right. You don't like hiking, mountain biking. By the way, Troy rode his bike home after eating 20 chicken tenders.
Well, that's good. You start working it off.
But I mean, can you imagine?
I thought I was going
what
to
that-
vomit on Fifth Avenue.
You did.
I did, yeah. And I was wobbly, and I was like, oh, I don't know if this is good. But I made it.
It's very bad for you to eat like that.
He was trying to kick off a new diet.
I understand.
And it didn't work.
No, I understand.
No. Yeah, so I mean,
I feel bad. I can't just. I have to be very careful about what I say.
totally.
I feel bad about that.
You don't have to feel bad. It's not your choice.
No, but it's
not,
a radio show.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not because you're unwilling to.
Oh, right.
Give.
No,
If I did a project that was very, very interesting and like had to sign an NDA, you have to sign an NDA. That's part of it. You know.
And one day it'll pay off when we get to see this.
You get to see it, and you can you'll probably be able to talk more about behind the scenes stuff. You know, at some point later on.
Yeah, I hope so.
Hope so.
I very much hope so.
Hope so. I mean, you know, we still don't know what happened with all that baby oil in Diddy's house. NDAs are big.
Well, they're saying there might have been GHB in it. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but
I read that.
I think if that's soaked into people, I think people would have got really sick if it was just in the lotion oil, right?
I don't know, man. I never had GHB through my pores.
I've never had it, no.
No.
But I imagine if you had that and you douse people in it, they'd be really sick.
Yeah, he said that he was putting. They said he was putting it in people's drinks. Then they said he was putting it in the lubricant.
What does GHB make you feel?
Well, I think it's like.
Didn't Rude Jude? Wasn't that what he used to do all the
He
time?
did. I think
Is he still on?
Ketamine.
Ketamine.
Yeah,
He did Special K by the
Oh, I like that guy. Is he still on?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he does a show from his home in Detroit, I think.
He does, okay.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
But yeah, he used to do ketamine. You know, he'd take a little bottle cap of
And drink
Ketamine's
it.
the date rape drug. Then is that?
I don't know.
GHB? I think so.
I think so.
I think so.
I mean, I'm sure if it was a very small dose, maybe obviously you can.
You just get loopy.
Yeah. Oh, euphoria, confidence, relaxation, sociability. It's like, isn't that like ecstasy?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like liquid ecstasy almost.
Yeah.
We should get Nicole in here. She's probably done a lot of it.
It's funny. I saw her on the way in.
Oh, really?
She was with some man.
Who?
I don't know.
What?
He had a smile.
Let me text her.
He looked like Conan a little bit. I've seen him before.
Is he tall?
Who is it?
Was it Australian? Did he have big head?
Yes, he did.
Ben.
Who's Ben?
He's their Australian producer. He's
Oh,
got
the
this
producer. I've seen him before. Yeah, he has
massive head.
a very large head.
Oh, you missed Kamala Harris Day. We all got patted down by the Secret Service. It was fucking nuts.
Oh, she was in?
She was in doing Stern, and like,
oh,
bro,
right.
Like,
it's a very hard-hitting interview.
Yeah, they got to the bottom of it.
I don't even like when SNL makes fun of you.
Yeah. No, it was good. He really said what needed to be said.
Oh, what time did you get to see her at all? No,
she was in here at 1, except they shut the building down to do a thing. We had to wait out. We couldn't start the show that day till 8:30 because we had to wait until just before 8 to finally get in. We got to get in because we're VIP hosts.
Yes.
We're the first responders, essential
Sure,
workers.
of course.
We got to get in before everybody else. Like, literally all the serious employees were just, like, down in the lobby waiting for permission to come up.
Wow.
At, like, maybe 7:45, maybe a little after, they said, okay, you guys, they let us and the mashup go up. We go up, had to go into 35, could not go to 36.
Wow.
The whole thing was cleared out. There was probably a dozen Secret Service people there.
Yeah.
Some with suits on, some with the vests on. They had a dog. They had like a wand. They had aggressive pat downs.
Yeah, of course.
The whole thing, like we had to go up the fire escape stairs because the lobby was all shut down on 36.
And you're hours before her.
Hours. She wasn't here till 1 p.m. Yeah, it was like, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
This is what it's like.
Isn't it weird when you're around Secret Service and around, like, when you're like, wow, this is like a fucking legit.
This is serious.
Yeah, this is what these guys do. Like, they really know how to secure a building and secure.
Right, and there's no wiggle room.
No.
You know what I mean?
There's
There's
Vice
no,
President of the United States. No.
And wait, you would have been so angry. Guess who in this room decided Secret Service Day was the day that he had to bring his mail in. So he brought a suspicious package, literally a brown box, unidentifiable, taped up, that the Secret Service had to look at and go, what is this? It literally looked like the prototypical see something, say something, suspicious package. Guess which, I'll say, idiot brought it in. What's your first guess?
He's looking right at me.
I like how his first
I
look
mean,
is hot dog.
It feels like a hot dog move, yes?
Yes.
Wrong.
Oh, sorry, hot dog. I apologize. C to the M.
All right, you want me to give
Different
you
idiot.
Okay, I saw where you glanced. You're looking around. I can give
Had to bring his mail in.
He brought it's a package that this person was mailing, and I mean it was. If I've ever seen a package to be described as a suspicious
bombish.
package. Yeah.
It was a bombish package.
I mean, if you saw this post 9/11, if you saw this on September 13th, 2001,
that's right.
The whole city would be shut down. The whole city.
Troy?
Good guess, but it wasn't me.
Wasn't Troy.
You guys are going late.
Now, I wouldn't guess Travis because Travis is a guy who would have that at his house. He knows how to work within a system very well. He's a guy that would have the label printer, and wouldn't need to waste his time.
Which is true.
I mean, I can't imagine Montone would be such a boob with military experience. I'm going to have to go with Dom.
I would not do it, but it wasn't me.
Montone?
No, of course not.
Dude, it was Travis.
Really?
It's easier for me to mail stuff here than at home.
It was labeled, yes. But it was,
I didn't even think about it. I
it
didn't
was
even...
in a Target bag, dude. There was a bullseye on the bag.
Did you know she was coming in that day?
Of course, but like...
Oh, they told you,
But,
okay.
but in the
We had a
course
whole
of like
email preparing us.
getting ready for work, it's like, oh yeah, I got to drop that off at the post office. I'll bring that with me. Because
So
the post office is right down the street.
They
Post
opened
office
it.
is 15 minutes away from my house at home.
Okay.
They cut it open.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, take it. Yeah, of course.
It was suspicious.
I mean, the minute we got in, I was like, of course.
And you know what was inside
why
the
would I bring
box
this
when
up?
they cut it open?
What?
A dildo shaped like Cinderella. It was really weird.
I was returning it.
Yeah. And wait, what's this substance on the...
It's too small.
What's this substance on the end? It's just...
Doesn't matter.
Smells like chicken tenders.
No,
Wow.
it really was. It was really serious.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I've been around Secret Service before. I know they don't fuck around.
No, I don't think any one of us. And then they lined up the rest of the employees.
They don't like jokes.
One by one.
No. They're very intense.
Yes.
When I was at UFC, watching them protect Trump at UFC was crazy because there's just people. There's 20,000 people, and the intensity of these people, like as they're watching him from say 30 feet away, it's just locked. Like they're just very locked in.
And
people.
when they pat you down, there's nothing like, oh, this is just a technicality. Let's just it's not like you're going into a concert and they just all right. There's nothing. It's like heavy palm.
They're searching you.
Oh yeah.
Especially after the assassination attempt on him, and then the next one, they're probably like, they're just overcautious.
They're not messing around.
And to be around her, I'm sure there's probably an American flag. There's a pin you probably have to display in order to be around Kamala Harris.
Probably.
Yeah, like they like no matter how good your bullshit story is or what you have, if you're not wearing the thing that says you can be in her vicinity, they won't let you near her.
Yeah.
I'm sure Stern had to wear one, and his people had to wear one.
Probably. Well, look.
I heard his interview was very hard hitting, though.
She ain't coming back after that. He held her feet to the fire.
I don't mind if he likes her, but I mean, I don't even like to see you made fun of. I mean,
He hates
Jesus
that.
Christ.
He hates that.
I mean, come on.
Well, he wouldn't do it. He never would have.
But I mean, like, I don't care who you like. To not want someone to make fun, it's just, wow.
You shouldn't tease.
I read that. I was shocked.
I heard it.
This is too serious.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, look, let's let you get home.
Yes.
Let's let you take a load off.
We have a new sword fight went up. I scheduled it. I learned how to schedule.
Look at you.
With Ricky Velez, who is a funny fuck. And I am shooting something on November the 18th at the VU, I think. And tickets, it will sell out, so I think it's on a Monday. So whatever, if you want to come see that.
Awesome.
But I'm really happy to be back. I'm very happy that I left when I did. I just couldn't wait till this afternoon. I wasn't supposed to be back until like fucking 4. And I'm just like, fuck this.
Get me back to society.
Yeah. And look out for that documentary. A very timid man. And in the opening credits, it's me exiting the Midtown Tunnel in the slowest possible lane.
We'll see you on Monday.
Goodbye.